Yo, this is DPS Podcast episode 118. We are back once again on a fine Thursday evening. I'm here with my almost on time co-host Gaming Forte. What's up, Forte?
Hi, howdy, hello. Whatever other language I can say hello in.
You said all that in English.
Oh, I didn't say hola. I thought I said hola. Hola. Say. Is it say?
Oh my gosh, we got people booing you in the chat already. Shout out to Level 1 Game, and they booing you in the chat, man.
Booing? Why would they boo me?
Because you showing up late to the show, man.
Oh my god!
It's all right. You gonna make up for it. You're gonna make up for it with enthusiasm and energy. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Well, you tell me when I don't bring energy. I always bring that. It's like the one thing I have in spades. Even after working all day, well, I ain't worked today, but
you ain't bringing no energy right now. I don't feel energy off you. I feel exhaustion and tiredness. Like your exhaustion is like exuding on me, like now I feel exhausted listening to you feel exhausted. Like I need you to match my energy, man. I'm out here. I'm we got some interesting topics to get into. We got some stuff to talk about. We got some things to handle, some things to set straight.
We do got a lot of that.
And I ain't trying to set things straight alone.
Well, you never said straight. Well, no, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Mr. Lunchtime and dinner time and breakfast time with slow mo.
Man, look, I only do lunchtime. If at dinner time with slow mo, I don't think I could do that. That wouldn't work for me. I'd be too hungry. But no, look, let's get into the show here.
Let's get into it.
We got some topics here for you guys. Shout out to everyone who's here already. Appreciate you guys for certain. Shout out to Blade X Arcade. Makes you dies a lot, East Texas. Alex, Rail Zaire, Double O, that guy Smitty, Level 1 Game, and then the house. Bobor Country. Got that right. Gregor Von Doom, Jay the Destroyer, Flames in the house. Let's go, man. This episode about to be flames.
Oh my God.
I don't need Forte.
You are.
I got all the energy for both of us.
What's really
Muck?
On here?
Muck's in the house.
That's what I want to know. What's really going on here? Slow-mo feeling really good today. Is this like Crossfire with Mooch or something today?
No. This is DPS podcast.
I don't understand.
You ain't used to this kind of energy. Is what you're saying?
You sound like Mooch. You sound like Enrique after he done had a few.
Now I feel disrespected. Said Forte's a little low. Let me turn you up, Forte. Let me turn you up, man. I probably turned you down when we was playing Halo.
Why? Why would you do such a thing?
Probably I don't know why.
Oh, I understand. You don't,
I don't know if that's Baron or if that is Fame, but either one of you guys, let me know if that's better. If you could hear Forte better. Forte,
yo,
what's your week been like, man?
What's my bed? What?
I said, what's your week been like?
I thought you were about to say what tied you with the bed or something. My week has been good, man. Just actually hanging with family, playing games, having fun on Twitter every once in a while. That's pretty much been my week. I kind of got back to my original way of just doing things. I also been looking at a lot of stuff like from just working on the channel and stuff on the back end, getting some more assets together because definitely I'm about to get ready to hit the ground running again now that the holidays is over. Put a poll out on my channel asking people what they wanted to see. Channel people gave me some really good feedback on that, so definitely want to act on that. But yeah, outside of that, man, just playing games. Enjoyed playing Halo with you over the course of the week. The couple of times we did played that very that game that got shadow dropped on us. I played 5 hours of that game, by the way, so I know we're going to talk about that probably for a second too.
Oh,
So
I heard the game wasn't even 5 hours long. Yes, it is longer than that.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's definitely longer than 5 hours long. Shoot, I'm only in Act 3.
How many acts is it?
I don't know how they have it broken up.
Well, let's not get into that.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's going definitely going to be a topic later on. But yeah. That's good. That's good. You know, like I'm glad you getting some gaming in. You know, it was a time when
here we go.
I gotta do it because I'm proud of you. You actually playing games instead of just doing that second job, which is Destiny. You know that's commendable. I have to commend you for that. I'm happy to see it. Myself, I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush like you. I've been playing Halo Infinite, been playing Rogue Company, I've been playing got the footage going up of it's weird how often I come back to this game. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Oh man.
So like I had it, I bought the whole trilogy on Steam for like, it was on sale for like $10 or something like that, like all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, I mean, like that's a steal. They outside of Shadow the Tomb Raider kind of being kind of blah, like the first one's really good and Rise is really good. So like that's at least 2 really good games for like $10. So I'm like, yeah, I grabbed that. Played through the entire trilogy maybe like 2 years ago, and then Epic Game Store had the entire trilogy for free like late last year.
Oh, they did.
So I'm just like, man, yeah, why not have like, so now it's I have to play through it again. I don't know why, but like I enjoy playing Tomb Raider. It's cool. But yeah, I've been playing that. Still playing through Chained Echo. Still playing through. I'm at kind of okay, XCOM Chimera Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I do like XCOM. People who've been listening to the podcast the past couple of weeks probably think like, why is Slow-Mo playing XCOM? He sounds like he hates it. I don't hate it. What I get frustrated with, right? So this is what my frustration is right now. So you, all right. Last week I complained about how like you'll have a shot lined up and your percentage chance of hitting the shot would be like 94% and you'll still miss, right? I'm at the point now, I'm near the end game of the game. And usually the way XCOM works is that you get to like the next chapter or the next act, and now everything is ramped up. When you have a region of the world, usually the world, but now in Chimera Squad, it's just a city that you're trying to fight for. A region of the city has like maximum unrest. It raises the entire city unrest, and it's like in the beginning it was low, it like only go up 1, but now I'm near the end game. It's going up like 3 points, and it's like, so now I'm literally at the point where I got like 2 missions left, and I got 3 boroughs of the city that has got maximum unrest. And the way you drop the unrest is that you get like security squads that kind of like maintain things for you, but they don't drop the unrest until like on a Friday, which is stupid. Like you gotta go a full week to wait for them to drop the unrest. Meanwhile, you can do it yourself, but like you gotta actually do a mission and like defeat your enemies in that borough, whatever it's called, township, county, whatever you want to call it, city, neighborhood, whatever. You gotta actually fight there, but if there's nothing to fight there, it's just stuck at maximum, and I have no way of dropping it. Now, there are other things you can do. You can take people in your squad and then have them do like outreach stuff. So like some of my squad is like I find to be real like basically they suck. So I don't use them. I have a set squad. Like usually everyone has a set squad they use in XCOM. You don't really want to like use anybody else. You don't really care to. So the rest of them, I got them doing stuff like working in workshops to kind of speed up, like getting better armor, better weapons, stuff like that. And I got one dude who's working with the city, and when I like every time I get him to like do his work thing, it drops the entire city barrels down like one unrest.
Yeah.
But it's just taking forever. And it's just like, I'm literally at the point now, I have 3 neighborhoods that are at max. I have 2 missions to do, and one in the other one. And literally it's game over if I get 14 points in unrest. I'm at 11. So I'm sitting here like, I don't think I can. I think I'm stuck because I did a mission. I completed the mission easy. It was super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Then I come back after completing the mission, and they're like, "Yeah, even though I won, even though I saved the day, they're like, yeah, the city don't trust you, so you're out."
Like you,
and it's just like. So I'm like I just like I haven't played since then because I don't know if like I'm just literally like I need to just go back like 5 saves or something. But I don't like XCOM is kind of irking me. But no, I played some.
Oh, speaking of that, games played. I just thought about something.
Yeah,
this podcast would be on a Thursday. On the day
it's been on a Thursday for like 2 years for us.
I know that. I know that.
What's the purpose?
I know that. I'm getting to that. It would be on a Thursday, and not just any Thursday. The Thursday before one of the greatest sci-fi horror games come out ever in Dead Space.
Oh my god! Why are you?
And I'm here, and this ain't about you.
Why are you bringing this up? Okay.
Wait, hold on. This isn't about you. This is about me.
Okay.
Because I love that game. And I could have picked that game up from work today at 9:00 because GameStop released it at 9 p.m. today. But I'm here because I love this show so much. I could have been playing Dead Space right now. Right now. Instead, now I gotta wait till after work tomorrow to play it.
Complaining about having to do the show?
No, I am complaining that this is probably the first time ever in the history of just podcasting in general. Well, no, in just I won't say in general. In podcasting on this show, where it's been any time where I was like, "Dang, I wish I was playing Dead Space right now." But
so
that's just.
You're saying you wish you were instead of being here with the 10%ers. You wish you were rather playing it. You literally just said that.
No, I am.
I mean, if you want to leave, just leave.
Oh my god. If I listen, so if that was the case, I would have found a way to say, "Man, I don't feel good today. My head hurt, my back hurt." I would have came up with some elaborate excuse. I would have came up with something that had something to do with my family, where I'd have been like, "Yeah, can I use that, or is that like bad karma?" I could have came up with a whole bunch of things, but I'm here with the 10%ers today because the 10%ers are more important than Dead Space. I'm just bringing to your attention that I'm mad because I just looked at the clock. Because this is the thing, they don't do 10 p.m.s for a lot of games anymore because they got to get developer approval for it. Because normally the games release at midnight. Yeah. So all the way up until early today, Dead Space was supposed to be a 12 p.m. a midnight game, and I was like, "Well, it's midnight, so who cares? I'm not getting the game anyway."
Real quick. But, so for you retailers, they got real strict. It's not just the day; it's the time that you can release the game. But then, like, there are people who have Dead Space early because they ordered it, and like maybe from like Amazon, and sometimes like Amazon like be screwing people.
They'll ship it a day early, and it just happens to get to them faster.
So it's just like for Amazon, the rules are looser than it is for GameStop or Target.
Not necessarily, because if you live close to an Amazon hub, you may get the game earlier than most people because, you know, Amazon still has to adhere to that 2-day shipping thing, you know, if you got Amazon Prime. So if let's say you live, like perfect example, I live near an Amazon hub. I can literally get same day delivery in my state on certain items and stuff. So if I was to order a game from them and they were to ship it, they would still have to honor. They probably wouldn't do a same day on a game. That usually isn't an option, but they would still have to honor the 2-day shipping. So to make sure that game got to me within 2 days, sometimes they ship it a day early to you with the assumption that it's not going to make it to you for at least 2 days. But sometimes shipping gets faster. You end up getting it either the day before launch, or you get it like that super early morning of launch, and that's kind of how it happens. So Amazon gets away from it just because of their business strategy, and I guarantee you they got that kind of negotiated inside of their contracts with these developers and these publishers when they do that. Because guess what? You think they ain't gonna try to sell their games on Amazon? Amazon like, listen, we ship stuff out 2 days early. We just letting you know there is an opportunity that some people might get their games either the day before early, or they'll get them at the morning of. And I guarantee you they say they is. But for us, there are very strict times that they give us at retail. So midnight is normally the earliest. Well, midnight the day before is normally the earliest we can release a game. We have been having a really good opportunity with a lot of developers that let us do it the night before at 9 p.m. Like Dead Space was today. It was at 9 p.m. Call of Duty was also at 9 p.m. when it came out. So we get those benefits. Nintendo, on the other hand, they won't even let you do a 9 p.m. a midnight on some games. They want their game to be sold the morning of. So they'll just say, hey, no midnights, no anything. But then there's also been like none of their first party games. But like, let's think about Fire Emblem Engage. We were able to do a midnight for that. But if it's like a Mario game or something, or a Pokemon game, actually Pokemon games we do too. They let us do midnights on those. But there has been moments where Nintendo was like, nah, man. We'll see you guys at 9 o'clock in the morning when you open the doors on Friday. So it's different across, different, developers and publishers.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. I always kind of wondered about that. Well, look, man. I before you even ask the question, this is what I'm going to do.
When is this going down? When is
this
going down? I'm excited.
Hold on. So look, the game come out tomorrow.
You can play tonight at midnight.
I won't. I have EA Play Pro, so which means on PC I get access to all of their games. I resubbed for it due to this foolishness. Shout out to Cat Daddy Lurk, aka Cat Daddy Jerk, for this subbing to the min-max build and requesting I play Dead Space Remake, which I will say this, even though I have like negative interest, like I would say zero interest. I would say like -5 interest in this game. At least it seemed to be a high quality remake, because the reviews had it like, I think initially it was like a 90 on Metacritic. And now it's like an 89. So it looks like, review wise, even though Metacritic is Metacritic, it looks like is being received critically pretty well. So at least that's good. At least, maybe the game might be pretty high value quality, even
yes,
though
sir.
I got 5 hours of misery, but it's fine. So it's 5 hours. It's 5 hours. I'm not streaming 5 hours straight. That's just not happening.
No, you can break it up into two different streams.
So that's the game plan. Hopefully, what I want to do, and maybe I can get this done Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Game plan is to Saturday do 2.5. I'll do 2.5 hours then, and then on Sunday I'll do another 2.5. And so that would be my 5 hours. I will uninstall it forever, and you guys can get off my backs about this. My back.
How if you actually like it though?
My back.
How if you actually like it though?
At the off, completely unexpected and unlikely chance that I like this game, I'll probably beat it. I'll probably finish it if that's the case, but I doubt it.
What was the reason? Like, did you try you haven't even tried.
I've never.
You didn't try the original, did you?
No, because look, survival horror ain't my jam, and I'm like, I don't care for those games. And then people just go, "Oh, Slow-Mo, you scared?" I'm not scared. I just don't care for playing them kind of games. So I've never had any interest in Dead Space. I've never played a single one of them. I know it's a dude with a weird looking helmet and a weird looking gun fighting mutated spiders in a spaceship, and that's about all I know.
Oh man.
Yeah. So Saturday, I'll figure out the time and probably tweet out what time I'm gonna do it. But yeah, just look out for the stream coming Saturday. I guess we can get into it, right? Get into our topics here. This first topic is a bit of a touchy subject. So the first thing that happened with this is about Squanch games and how life. So that game came out in November, was it? So yeah, and kind of a cult hit, right? Kind of really shocked a lot of people. Like, oh wow, like this game is actually pretty freaking good. Out. Kind of still, I still think it's kind of mid. But hey, man. People can, like it. If they're free to like the game if they want. It's fine. I think that Squanch is a decent developer, but the game, honestly, like if it didn't have the whole Rick and Morty thing, then I don't think this game would have ever even like hit like that. Like I don't think anybody would have cared. But it is what it is. Game, definitely I would say outperformed as far as like the presence it got on Game Pass and its sales on PC and stuff. I think it definitely outperformed where the critics said it would be. So I'll give it that. That's gotta be a success for that developer. But ever since then, it's been a lot of drama. So the co-founder of Squanch, now I don't want to mess his name up, so I'm about to go find his name. But he's also the co-creator of Rick and Morty, which clearly all of the humor is derived from. But he has been embroiled in this issue of I think domestic violence, was it?
Yeah.
So there's all that. He got fired from Rick and Morty, which I don't know how he gets fired. He's like co-creator, so look, I'm not all up on Rick and Morty, and I think doesn't Rick and Morty come on Cartoon Network?
Yeah.
So like Justin Roiland, that's his name. So I don't know if Cartoon Network owns Rick and Morty IP or something. I don't know. He's no longer involved with Rick and Morty, which to me would be like, I don't know what he does with Rick and Morty besides do that stupid voice that I can't stand. But like he's Morty's voice, right? Or Rick. He's one of those.
He's get a mix. I think he's Rick's voice.
Yeah, he's one of those, right? Oh no, Gregor Von Doom in the chat says he was also texting a minor. Like that's.
Oh yeah, it's a rap on him, bro.
This guy under the freaking jail and then set it on fire. Like that's just how I feel about that. He does both voices. He's Rick, and so how are they going to do the show? Because I heard he got fired from Rick and Morty, but it's going to continue. Is someone else going to like? Now the show's over. Just it's over.
Yeah.
Blade X says he voices all the characters. How do you continue? Who are you gonna get to to take over for literally? Or are they just gonna get like a dozen voice actors to do VA for something that one guy did?
Yeah, he does both. He does Rick and Morty's voice.
Yeah. And like the gun that I'm using in the gunplay in the gameplay for High on Life, he literally does the exact voice for that gun with the whole stuttering and stammering and the timid, like I can't stand that voice, but like he does that in the game. Now, like as I said earlier, this game, no one would have been talking about this game if the whole Rick and Morty humor to it wasn't there. Like gunplay wise, it's mediocre. It's got some platforming involved in it that's pretty decent, and some of the jokes land, and some of them are just kind of like, at least to me. I think that's probably super subjective. I'm not like a big Rick and Morty fan anyway. Like for me, like I watched like the first season, thought it was funny, got halfway through the second season, and just kind of like never went back to it. So I don't know, Forte, are you like big on Rick and Morty? I can't remember. I think we discussed this back when the game first came out, but I can't remember how.
It's not as much. It's more something that if it was on, I would, if I was glancing through channels and stuff, I would stop and check it out or something like that.
Yeah.
I was, it was mostly if I was bored. I mean, I did like seeing some of the skits and stuff that people would do when he did, like when Justin Roiland would do some of the voices on different skits and stuff. I would watch them because it was very entertaining. But that seems like an afterthought now after all this.
Now, Aramis in the chat brings up an interesting thought, and he said, "I don't think Slow-Mo, but AI can do the voices." And now, I wonder if that would become a legal issue.
Yeah, because, I'm about to say, because his voice.
That's his voice. If you use an AI program to simulate his voice, you're now getting like compensation off of his talent without him having any kind of actual involvement in it. I don't think they can do that legally and not get sued to oblivion.
As much as nobody would care if they did try to do that legally, that would be a problem.
Right. And so I don't know the legality of that. Regardless, the reason why we're bringing it up, because we don't really care about Rick and Morty like that. That has nothing to do with gaming. But Squanch Games is definitely kind of tied into the Rick and Morty universe or whatever you want to call it. And with him no longer being involved with Rick and Morty, now he also is no longer with Squanch Games. They came out with a statement January 24th. On January 16th.
It was January 16th.
Yes. Squanch Games received Justin Roiland's resignation. So instead of being fired, he resigned. And they say the passionate team at Squanch will keep developing games we know our fans will love while continuing to support and improve High on Life. So this is what I anticipate is going to happen with Squanch Games from here forth. I wonder if you agree with me.
Yeah.
I think that if they got any kind of DLC or expansion content that was already in development, that would get finished and released. But any other games that Squanch is doing going forward will not have anything to do with this kind of stuff. It may be a completely different kind of game. It might not even have a comedic theme to it, but it would be something completely different because for multiple reasons. One, you don't have part of the talent that made High on Life popular to begin with. That's one. You no longer have him involved. And two, you also probably want to for PR, for your
distance
image.
Yourself.
Yes, distance yourself from someone who has been, these are accusations and charges, but if it turns out he definitely did these things and he is found guilty, you definitely don't want anything to do with anything that him period. You want to basically make Squanch become a developer known for something other than the High on Life game. What do you think?
Nope, I agree 100%. I think if they actually didn't, I normally when it comes to DLC stuff like that, a lot of the voice actors, their obligations are already probably fulfilled and complete. So if they're saying that they're still going to work on, development and stuff when it comes to that, that must mean that, yeah, they really didn't need him to be there to finish what they already have completed. Now, they might have had other things that they were going to be working on alongside the game, maybe further DLC add-ons to the game that was going to probably come at later dates that they'll probably end up having to cancel anyway because he's not there. But I think the things that they already have pretty much already on the books, they're just going to put that out because you might as well, you spent the money on it, you might as well get that stuff out to people so they can try it and play it.
Right.
But when it comes to the other part
of
the
game is more popular than I think they had any idea.
They had any idea too, which
so
sucks
you might
for
as
them.
well go ahead and put out the expansion you didn't put the work in on, even though it's kind of like you, after the accusations and the charges, it may not hit the way it would have if none of that stuff would have came to light.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think for that regard, I think I do think that's what's going to happen there. But I do think, like you said with the other part, as soon as they are done with the obligations and the game runs its course and everything with the development on everything they're doing for it, then they're just going to separate themselves as much as possible from it and going to start working on the next thing. And like I said, it's unfortunate for them because when you have a code hit like this, you can move on from it as a studio, but people are always going to kind of align.
It's the first thing they knew you for,
That's,
I don't know if they have made other games before High on Life.
Doesn't matter. This is the one that hit though.
Exactly.
People will remember.
Exactly. No one remembers the stuff you did before. It's sad because I bring up BioWare a lot, because it's one of my favorite developers in past, but I was a fan of theirs. I wasn't. People were a fan of theirs when they made Baldur's Gate. But Baldur's Gate wasn't the one that hit for them. Knights of the Old Republic, for people like me, is the one that I remember them for, and for the vast majority of gamers, Mass Effect is what they know them for. Jade Empire, Knights of the Old Republic, Dragon Age, none of those games matter to these people. It's Mass Effect. So your most popular game is what's going to define your studio, and I think that they're going to really have to come with something that I think, frankly, might be a little too much for them to handle. I really feel like this game is popular because of the Rick and Morty humor to it, not because it's a good game. So they're going to need to make a good game and not have a crutch, which is the Rick and Morty stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. What do you think about? And we can move on.
I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, they're gonna move on from it. Like I said, it's unfortunate that this happened because it's going to be tied to the studio, like it or love it, or hate it, I should say. But I definitely will be looking forward to seeing what their next thing is going to be because, the humor was really good. I just want to see them tighten up the gameplay a little bit more when it comes to the mechanics of it, especially when it comes to the shooting side of it. I think they were heading in the right direction. I just think that it was something that I don't think that was the focus of the game. The focus of the game was based around the humor of the game and just the outlandish stuff that would be said or heard into that game. So now that they don't have that to lean on, I think I just want to see them, brush up and make sure that they tighten up the gameplay aspect of it, and whatever their next game is, hopefully they're successful in it. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it.
Yep. But here's the great thing though. At least they were able to release a game.
Yeah, that's hard nowadays.
Yeah,
that's Microsoft.
Because there's some developers, we don't know whether they're trying to release a game or not.
Oh man.
And that brings us to our next topic. The day before.
Sure.
Is the day before a scam?
Is this
another blue box dude? Is this another abandon? Because I have never seen so much ridiculous nonsense happening around a game. And it's so sad because everyone predicted that the stuff that they said, oh, we about to release like a ton of gameplay, and literally everybody was like, they gonna find some way to delay it. And here we are. Not only was it delayed, Forte, the Steam page got removed.
Yeah, I saw that the Steam page is gone.
so okay, let me because I'm so hyped about this, because this is like the most hilarious thing that I've been seeing in the past month. So the funny thing about this is that they keep lying about stuff, and their lies are so easily disproved. It's crazy. Now you see this gameplay. This is the very first look. I say gameplay loosely because people think this was just some scripted thing. This wasn't real, like a real game running. But people saw this gameplay for their first reveal gameplay for the day before, and we were just like, oh man, look at the lighting, look at the look at the attention to detail. This reminds me of The Last of Us, The Division. This looks great. I can't. What is this? What is this? And who's fantastic? I've never heard this developer. Yeah, no one has ever heard of them because they ain't never made nothing. So the first big red flag with Fantastic was, you remember they were saying they were talking about their quote unquote volunteers. You remember that, Forte?
I do.
And people were just kind of like, we don't know how we feel about you having volunteers who are basically just working for you and supposed to be doing the bulk of this work in this game. They're free labor, and they're only getting paid through recognition and getting the game on their resume. That seems like not just compensation, you know. So that was the first kind of big thing that kind of got them in trouble. But then people just started to kind of like put some things together. So let's kind of break down what ended up happening here. I think the day before, I just see you caught that. The day before they were supposed to reveal some gameplay, their Steam page disappeared. They told people that it's a bug with Steam. It's a quote unquote well-known bug with Steam, and Valve's gonna fix it. People easily disprove this by they said that in a message on their Discord, which has since been deleted. Because that's always a sign that you're being honest when you delete your Discord messages, right? People easily disprove that by actually going through the logs of the archive Steam page, and they have been able to see that it was Fantastic themselves that was deleting the content that was on the page. All the videos, all the screenshots of the game, all the info, they deleted it all themselves. Why would you do that?
Oh man, unless you was trying to hide something.
Right. So then the next day they came out with a statement on Twitter, on their Twitter account. And their statement is saying that they are caught up in this copyright trademark issue, that the name the day before was trademarked by someone else, a private individual, and they're trying to get that resolved before the game comes out. Now the game's supposed to come out in March.
Right.
They've been hit with a cease and desist on the trademark of the day before. Now,
hard out here, man.
Yo. I mean, like, wait, look. I ain't no game developer, right? But if I'm gonna make a game, even I know I'm gonna trademark the name of my game. That's gonna be one of the. Once I know the title of my name and I know what my name is going to be, that's the first thing I'm doing.
Right.
But actually, before I choose the name, I'm making sure No one else already has a trademark. So I don't even get into these issues. So like, there's a theme here, and I think the theme is: are you a scam or are you incompetent? Because there's no column C here. You're either scamming people or you're incompetent.
At least
choose one.
At least they were smart enough to at least put gameplay out, though. Where do you think the gameplay from?
If I don't look, you can script some stuff. Like you can like be a solo person in Unreal, because this was running Unreal Engine 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing, the game got delayed because they said, you know what? Last second out of nowhere, we're gonna put the game on Unreal Engine 5, which to me was the big red flag to me, because I was like, I know how difficult, I don't know it, but I've seen other bigger AAA developers talk about how difficult it is to go from Unreal Engine 4 to 5. It's not as easy as Epic says it is. Epic made the engine, and how long did it take them to get Fortnite from 4 to 5?
Over a year.
Over a year. Epic, with thousands upon thousands of developers, all of their studios working on one game,
and they know the background. They know the backbone of the infrastructure.
And it's their engine. They couldn't do it quickly, but you gonna get that done. You and your quote unquote volunteers in under a year. Right. Sure, buddy. So they said that people looked into the trademarks. There is a trademark from someone with a Korean name. For the day before, like in 2021, they didn't trademark the name until January 2022, which is, again, stupid. But then, like, in response, and I got the quotes here now because they came out with this today, a statement today. Because a lot of YouTubers, a lot of gaming media people have been going in on them. It's a scam. This is ridiculous. This is Blue Box Studios all over again.
Yeah.
And they have come out and they said, when the game comes out, people will finally see the truth.
That's what Blue Box.
They sold this to IGN. They said, time will put everything in its place. When the game comes out, people will finally see the truth. We understand that some players, not seeing the whole picture, might have doubts about the game. Our whole focus has always been on the product itself. We've been creating the game for 4 years. All of our, I'm adding all the volunteers, I'm adding that part. But back to them. All these years have been full of sweat and blood to make this game. And for many members of our team, it is unpleasant to hear such accusations.
Wait, I liked it where he said for many members of our team. So what you tried to say is there's some people in your team's like, man, we shouldn't be doing this.
I would say to Fantastic, it's unpleasant for me to see something I think look like it could be a cool game and come and find out it's vaporware.
It's vaporware.
But they continue. We didn't take a penny from people. No crowdfunding, no pre-orders, no donations. The game is fully funded by Mytona, one of the largest mobile publishers in the world, who check the game's build at every milestone per our contract. Let's put a pin in that real quick.
Oh, we put names on stuff. Okay.
So you telling me Mytona, one of the largest mobile publishers in the world, didn't tell you to get your game trademarked? I mean, they do this all the time, right?
Yeah, they do it all the time.
They didn't tell you to trademark the title of your game? They didn't make sure that worked? Huh? Don't name drop your quote unquote publisher, which, if I recall correctly, on their Steam page, Mytona was not listed as the publisher. Fantastic, even though it is in the trailer, Mytona there. But on the page, it said Fantastic as the publisher and Fantastic as the developer. Okay, whatever, sure. But let's say Mytona is your publisher. Why didn't they help you through this situation? Again, you're either scamming, you're incompetent.
Why wouldn't Mytona come out and come to your defense if they have money on the line for something that they help put into you?
Excellent
because I'm telling you right now,
excellent question.
I'm telling you, if it was me, if I had hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars tied up into something, and there's a lot of people out there saying, yo, this is a scam, this is fake, where's all this coming from? I'll be like, listen, I'm the man behind the glass, I'm the one that's funding all this. I will put my name out there as the corporation to show that this is a legit thing, but we ain't get that.
Yo, and so because of this issue, they have delayed the game to November 10th. Game's supposed to come out in March. Now it's coming out in November. And the scams are I have another question also. So
yeah, go ahead.
They claim they have removed their Steam page. The Steam page, everything has been removed because of, and they can't show their new gameplay footage they were supposed to show because of the trademark issue. Go to their YouTube channel. Guess what's still up there? This trailer. And other dev stuff, like with some dev talking and stuff. All that's still up there with the name. So you telling me that you got hit with a trademark claim, which would be like a copyright claim, on you, and YouTube didn't remove those videos?
Yep.
YouTube.
They remove everybody else's.
If I play a copyrighted song while I'm streaming Fortnite, I get the copyright claim before I finish my stream.
That's true.
But you telling me you got copyright claimed and YouTube ain't done nothing yet? Bruh. Come on now. And so the last quote they got is trying to like instill confidence in people. They said, we're very confident this issue will be resolved since we have strong legal partners. The extra time will allow us to better prepare for the release and make the overall improvements for the game. It will become even more polished, optimized, and content filled. If you got strong legal, here we go again. You got strong legal partners, but they didn't, make sure your game is trademarked. I don't know. Sounds like you're full of it. And more than that, you see this. You've been looking at this footage, right, Forte?
Yeah, I have been.
And chat, you guys have been, for the guys watching this live, of course, you've been seeing this excellent, look at this game. Let's look at this. This is from over a year ago. Let's look at what they showed earlier this month. You see any difference in this, Forte?
Wait for it to come up.
Maybe slight difference in quality.
Yeah, definitely.
That's supposed to be with ray tracing on.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's the first thing I said. That's got ray tracing on it.
Look at the shooting. Look at the muzzle flare of the shooting.
Oh man, it looked like they went to the Action Pack Pro bundle and for $12.99 and got some muzzle flashes.
This looks like basic assets. Like, you just go on Epic Games Store, go into the Unreal Store, and just buy assets that are straight in Unreal Engine, that are default assets in there, and just make yourself some stuff. Forte, you want to make a game right now? Let's just go make a 1 minute trailer. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's that easy. We gotta learn Unreal Engine. But come the freak on, man. Look, man,
that made you look more detailed than the game.
Is this a scam, Forte? What do you think?
And I hate saying that stuff is a scam, but listen, man, I would like this. I wouldn't put my money on it until I have to see a finished product. I would need to see a whole bunch of stuff. And when all this news broke about this game, I just seemed fishy. I was like, it's so many red flags. It's like you shouldn't have to defend yourself this hard if you got a corporation behind you that can vouch for this type of stuff. Like, that's like I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I don't know, like, they're talking about it wasn't crowdfunded or anything. Okay, well, it wasn't crowdfunded. So, but why can't we get what's going on?
Neither was Blue Box and abandoned. But still, here's the thing, right? When these scam games happen, they're not scamming us.
Yeah.
They're scamming investors who invest in a game and then don't get any actual follow through. So they brought up their, Mytona, largest publisher in the world. Maybe Mytona need to be like, hey, yo, what's going on here, yo?
What you talking about, bro?
Yeah, we need to talk. Because look, y'all may not know this, but it's highly suggested, and I don't want to get into any kind of issues with these people, but it's highly suggested that Gearbox wouldn't be Gearbox right now if they didn't potentially scam Sega.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back about a decade, okay?
Listen, man, I don't want to talk about this.
Hey,
how I feel about the Alien franchise. They screwed us.
So, long time ago, Sega and Gearbox entered into a contract. Sega, who had control, still has control over the Aliens IP in gaming. Yep. Sega contracted Gearbox to make Aliens Colonial Marines. For a lot of us, a lot of people just got PTSD and triggered. Sorry.
Oh my God. I still have it.
But Aliens Colonial, and they showed this first look back in what was it, 2007 or something like that. And so many people were hyped. It looked great. But what ended up happening, especially according to people who applied to work at Gearbox because they wanted to work on Aliens, and then somehow ended up working on Borderlands. I mean, I came in.
Not only Borderlands.
I applied for this job, and I worked on the Aliens build that surprisingly was still in pre-production when the game had been in development for 4 years. And then 2 weeks later, I was told I was working on Borderlands. Interesting. All these people kept saying that. And I'm not saying it's true, but essentially it looks like old Randy Pitchford played a magic trick on Sega and took basically their money that was paying for developers to work on Alien Colonial Marines. Meanwhile, they took Aliens Colonial Marines and outsourced it to some, hole in the wall, working out of the garage developer that did a trash job on it. And they took all of those high quality developers that Sega paid for and had them make Gearbox's IP, Borderlands 1 and then Borderlands 2, which probably one of the best looter shooters ever made. So that's why Gearbox is who they are today. Because anyway, let me not.
Thank you for reminding me, Slow Mo. I am looking at this. I am looking at the Steam page for Aliens Colonial Marine of a game that I owned since the day it came out because I'm such a Alien fan. I can't even believe I did this much. I have played. This is back when games used to only be 9 gigs, Slow Mo. I don't even know how this game made it to 9 gigs or how it looked, but I haven't launched this game since. I used to launch this game.
Wasn't the patch for that game bigger than the base game?
It was. The patch was big. It was like 30 gigs.
A few years ago, because I heard one of the biggest. I never played it, but one of the biggest complaints of Alien Colonial Marines is the AI is just dumb. You literally can be standing in front of an alien, they want to attack you sometimes. And people was always wondering why the heck was that the case? And then, or at least on the PC version, some modder went into the code and figured out what was wrong, and there was an actual fat finger misspelling in the code. why the aliens were all messed up, and he fixed it, and then the aliens acted like normal aliens after that. Imagine all these years, and they never fixed that. That's some poor development. And you know what? Poor development seems to be happening all the time, because there's a game that came out this week that got poor development too. You know what game that is?
Oh, what game was it, Slow-Mo? Tell us.
Forspoken. I am killing these transitions these right now. Yeah, y'all should be like, man, slow-mo segues is on point tonight. Segueing left and right, man. I'm like crossing the podcast game up. Look, Forspoken.
Poor Forspoken.
Have you? So, reviews for Forspoken came out on Monday. It has been a hilarious time since then. It's been a lot of people backtracking on things they said. It's been a lot of people pretending that the performance of the game ain't what it is. But essentially, this game, I know I've been on Twitter having fun with this and poking fun at people who were trying to pretend like the PlayStation version of the demo ran great, or it was fixed after they did an update to it, which didn't fix anything. But the PC version was going to be broken, but the PlayStation version was going to be fine. And clearly they got egg and all kinds of other substances all over their face because they're wrong. But I'm not going to pick on a platform or people on a platform or anything like that. That's not who I am. What I am going to do is pick on this developer though, because this game runs poorly on every platform. And on a platform that has a game that looks as beautiful as Horizon Forbidden West, there is no reason why Forspoken should look the way it looks, which is not that amazing. And people are like, well, that's open world. Yeah, there are better running open worlds out there. Literally every other open world game in existence runs better than this game. There's no excuses for how it runs. And I'm going to bring up multiple things. I want Forte to give his thoughts on, but I've played it, played the demos.
Before you get into that, I just want to hear one thing from you.
Okay.
Like I said it the other day, when this demo first came out, and you asked me if I played it, and I told you how I felt. And you was like, come on, man, it was actually good. Are you willing to tell me that I was right now? Go ahead. I just want to hear it one time, because you know what? I'm not always right. I'm not right.
You're definitely right. You were definitely right.
Oh, okay, that's all I want to hear.
But look, I wasn't denying anything with performance. I could say I had fun playing the game, which I did. I had fun playing the game in the demo. You played the demo. I know you don't have the full game. Do you have any interest in playing the full game?
Oh, I didn't even do that. After I told you, after I played the demo, and I was like, this is terrible. I played the demo. I couldn't even. Slow-Mo was up here telling me about all the moves. He's like, yeah, man, the story's okay. It's all right. It's passable. He's like, but I love the combat. I was like, you actually played that combat?
No, the combat's lit.
No. When I mean play the combat, I couldn't even get past the part where the frame rate was jumping on me. I was like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, the frame rate's ridiculous.
It's terrible.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So let me. All right, I have some theories on why this game is as bad as it is. It all comes down to the fact that Luminous Productions is just a bottom tier studio. Is what it is.
That's a nice way of you saying it.
Shout out to Flame with the $2 super chat. He says, I call it Craig spoken. Craig was a warning, y'all.
Craig is always going to be there.
And we got Bulldog Country saying there's a little black woman bashing in this. There is no black woman bashing in this game. First of all, Ella Balinski is a beautiful woman. absolutely beautiful, stunning woman, and she's a very good actress. I've seen her in a horror movie. I think it's called Run Lola Run. I can't remember. No, it's not, probably not Run Lola Run, but I watched it on Prime Video. So it's a horror movie she's in. She did a fabulous job in that. She's been in some bad movies, but her performance has usually been pretty good. And even though that Netflix Resident Evil series that she was the main star in, with Lance Reddick playing Wesker from Resident Evil. Even though that got canceled after the first season, I thought she was great. I thought she was excellent in that show, and I was like, if the show was getting would get a second season, it was going to be because of her. I think people just didn't like, because it wasn't, maybe I don't know the Resident Evil time like that, because it wasn't canon, that people just kind of was just like ignored it and refused to watch it. But she was really good. She's a good actress. She's a good actress that has trash material to work with.
Oh man.
So it's like an actress can't write her own lines, and she can't, you know, like, she's got to like listen to what the director says or whatever direction she may get. I do think that how they may have directed her in the voice acting probably was very subpar, and they didn't really help her out too much. But it's no, Elden Ring looks better than this. War Country, stop it. Elden Ring looks better than this game. It looks and runs better than this game. So we're not going to do that. The art in Elden Ring is amazing. Now, as far as like say renders of grass and stuff like that, yeah, this game's got Elden Ring beat with stuff like that. But when it comes to the design of enemies, of weapons, of your armor, of like the architecture and stuff in Elden Ring, you go underground, there's nothing as beautiful as that in Elden Ring reflected so far in what I've seen. And in Forspoken, we not gonna get into that, because I'm not going. That's a completely ridiculous comparison. But he says, why didn't you keep the same energy? I did go in on Elden Ring's performance. You don't actually follow me if you didn't know that. So what we not going to do is say I didn't say or I said something when I did. So yeah, I'm just not going to keep going back and forth with you when you don't know what you're talking about. So this game, they didn't release the demo for Forspoken until the game came out on PC. So, which is like, why release the demo now? The demo, Forte, performs better than the actual game. The demo don't perform well.
That's what I tell people. I'm like,
the demo performs better than the actual game.
That's what I try to
tell
people.
The gameplay you're seeing right now is the demo. This is being played at 1440p resolution, and it averages like 75 to 60 frames per second. But every time I use like the big ring fire spell, it will drop to like 50 frames per second. There are also parts when I fight one of the bosses on the bridge, and it like had a huge pause. It's just poorly optimized. Likewise on the PlayStation, the demo would drop down. It's dynamic resolution because it's console, but according to VG Tech, the demo ran, and none of this changed. It's the same with the regular release on PlayStation, but the demo and the regular release of the game runs in performance mode below 1080p normally, and then will drop as low as 720p. It rarely maintains 60 frames per second, and will drop in performance mode will drop to 40, and quality mode will drop to 20. This is abysmal performance. Like this is abysmal performance. Like it's just, which like kind of sucks because like the combat's good, but then you just get distracted when it starts getting choppy, when like there's a ton of enemies on screen, or it's like a lot of like parkour effects, because it's like, you know, it's very flashy parkour and movement and flashy effects with her spells and stuff, and all that stuff will just like every time you do that stuff, it drops your frame rate. Now, I was gifted the game on PC, and so after being gifted the game, I installed it and I played it. It's so weird that it performs worse in the actual release on PC than the actual game. It's very similar to Gotham Knights in this way, Forte. It's super CPU bound, and not GPU bound. A lot of the time, usually this is how it usually works on PC. And if you want to say, oh, it's your hardware slow-mo, okay, this is how it usually works when your hardware isn't adequate enough. Your GPU will be at 99 to 100% utilization. You will be at max VRAM. So if your VRAM is say like 8 gigs, like you say, let's say you have a 3070. Let's talk about mine. I have a 3080 Ti. My VRAM is 12 gigabytes. If it's showing me in MSI Afterburner that I'm using 11,900, that would tell me that that's the maximum of my VRAM. If I'm maxing that and I'm at 99% or 100% of my utilization, and with all that, my frame rate is low, it is my hardware can't keep up, which frankly should not happen, period, in 2023. There shouldn't be any games that's that demanding yet. Maybe in 2026, there should be a game that's so demanding that a 3080 Ti can't run a minimum 60 frames per second, or can run 60 frames but gets significant drops. Yeah, we'll get like significant drops and stuff like that. It shouldn't be happening with a 3080 Ti, but my utilization for my GPU is at like 70%, sometimes 40%, and I'm not getting any frames. That tells me the game isn't asking my GPU to do anything. And if it's not asking my GPU to do anything, it's asking my CPU. Now, my CPU isn't old, but it's also not super current. My CPU is an i7 9700K. It came out in 2019.
So still a good GPU. CPU.
A very good CPU. I have it overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz, which means I'm getting even more performance out of it. My CPU utilization in this game is always higher than my GPU. I can't run anything else on my PC when I play this game.
Can't even have a window from a tab from your from Google open, man?
No, can't run nothing else. Can only play this game.
Ah, man, this man can't even talk to Xbox Live party members. He can't do nothing.
Can't do anything else.
Oh my God.
But play this game. And even then, when I look at Task Manager, CPU utilization 100%. This is Gotham Knights. When you look at the Digital Foundry video that they did about Gotham Knights, and they explained why Gotham Knights performed so badly and why it was going to be so difficult for it to get fixed, and why if you had like a 4090 and you're getting like 60 frames per second in the game, why with a 3060 you're only getting 50. Why is there there shouldn't be a 10 frame per second gap between two drastically different, GPUs? And it's because everything was bound to the CPU. The CPU is where and all that. And CPU, you shouldn't be designing your game around that. I can understand to say if it's like Control, you're doing a lot of like Control with, I think it's called Northlight Engine, that Remedy has, when it does a lot of, and it makes sense when you destroy things and it has a lot of debris and it falls and explodes in a very realistic manner, that that makes sense. There's a reason for the CPU having to go that extra mile and put in the work, and even then CPUs like my CPU got no problem with Control. But this game isn't doing anything extra. This game isn't doing anything that would warrant that level of need of hardware to go that far. It just doesn't make any sense. I should just go ahead and play the my gameplay from the actual game. Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
So
go ahead and play that.
Another thing that I know, and this is my theory. Luminous Engine. I remember watching them. I did a video on Luminous Engine a while ago, and my video on Luminous Engine, I remember watching when I was doing research. I remember watching them talking about how the hair was very natural, and it is. I would say for Forspoken, outside of also the combat being good, I think the hair of Frey, the main character, is good. Like it moves naturally in the wind and everything. But I also have done a video on black hair in video games, and in doing that video, I ended up doing a ton of research on how hair works. And how the reason why they use hair cards, to kind of simulate a natural, real look of hair, but not really having real like individual strands of hair, because real individual strands of hair is too it destroys the performance. It's like it's too hard on any hardware out there. There's no hardware that's out there that can actually do that very well. Now we're starting to get some hardware that can do it, but it's not quite there yet, and they're trying to come up with techniques that will make it better and make it look more natural and real, but it isn't quite there yet. Luminous Engine I think is doing way too much with the hair, and so even though it doesn't look like amazing, but the way they did her hair is way more with like actual real hair instead of using hair cards. And therefore, that also is hitting the performance, because I notice if I move my camera where that she's not quite the focus, my frame rate's higher. And then when I move my camera more towards her, and the closer I am to her, the more it's rendering her hair naturally, frame rate starts to go down. It's just so much like changing the resolution doesn't get you more frames, Forte.
No. Oh, you said changing the resolution. Yeah. Lowering your resolution is
I dropped it to 1080p.
And you still wasn't getting more frames.
And it was the exact same performance. That's in the demo and in the game. 1080p, same performance.
Oh my god.
1440p, same performance. 4K, same performance. You said
somebody gifted you this game?
Yeah.
Man, you should gift them something back.
They didn't buy it. They got it. It was a code. And they had extras. They gave it to me. Shout out to them. That was much respect for that. But like,
they saved you from an L.
Resolution. This is why that's so important. Resolution is the biggest impact to the performance of a game. Resolution. This is the reason why some people play on PC play at 1080p.
Yeah.
The first thing, if you're playing at 4K and you're not getting the performance you want, the first thing you need to do is drop it down to 1440p. That's
why it took forever to get high refresh 4K monitors, because the like 4K at high frame rates was not possible until honestly this generation that we're in now. Even then, it's still hard to get.
Right. And so it's just like the fact that whether I'm playing at 1080p, 1440p, or 4K, it means nothing.
Nope.
I get the same exact performance regardless.
Yeah, there's some optimization issues going on there.
Yeah, it's, and which kind of makes me concerned because like I haven't played Gotham Knights on PC yet. I still haven't installed. I might play it this weekend, but like I don't know if WB Montreal has somehow fixed Gotham Knights performance or not. I don't know how they can. They would really kind of have to kind of like change the way the game is literally telling the hardware to render things, because in Gotham Knights, as I said, the Digital Foundry video proved that like it's using the CPU to do a lot of the heavy lifting instead of your GPU. Your GPU is basically just chilling, even though that's the way games are designed, is where your GPU is doing a lot of that rendering. Right. And if you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. And this game is also doing that, which like I turned on DLSS. DLSS is supposed to give you frames. DLSS, whether it's on or not, no difference. So straight rendering, straight rasterization, same frame rate. Turned on DLSS, same frame rate. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Only thing that matters is what GPU you got, CPU you got. So I would say if you are interested in playing this game on PC, if you have a CPU that came out in the past year, you should be good as far as getting 60 frames per second, and you won't maintain it. You probably, if you have a 4090 and the best GPU, you probably will, and like 64 gigs of RAM, you'll probably be able to like maintain 60 minimum.
Be able to do something with that.
But like if you don't have just specifically that, you're probably going to have to be like fluctuating with like 60 and then going down to 40 and then 50, and then every time you get into battle, it's dropping. So like, you know, on PlayStation, from what a lot of the videos that are out there for people who have done the analysis on it, it's very much similar to the demo, except that like it drops to 20 frames per second in quality mode, and then drops to 40 in performance mode. I would say the PC version is almost no different than the performance mode, except that you're not dealing with 720p dynamic resolution, so you're not seeing it drop to 720p. It's staying at the resolution that you told it to, but you're also, when it comes to frame rate and performance, it's the same. It's the same. Mm-hmm. It's the same performance. And the goal that I've been talking for a lot, and I'm sorry, but like,
no, you're good.
You
going in
to break it down, as I said from the very beginning. This is not a PlayStation issue. This is not a PC issue. This is a Square Enix Luminous Productions issue. They developed a game poorly, and people can say what they want about Ella Balinski. I think, as again I said, she's a beautiful actress and she's very good at what she does. And none of this is any shade towards her. You can like the story and you can like the dialogue if you want. That's fine. You can like all kinds of things about the game. I like the combat. I know a lot of people like the combat. Or you can hate all of it and you can think it's all trash. That's fine. But what we universally need to understand is that Luminous Productions is the sole holder of the L for how this game has turned out. It is just poorly developed, poorly optimized, and frankly, because of who they are, and they made Final Fantasy 15, which I think is the worst Final Fantasy ever, I don't expect that they really get fixed. That's just me. What are your thoughts after all of that I said, man?
Man, listen, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I feel bad for all of the people who went out there, spent their money on this game. Shout out to the people that's enjoying the game. The one thing I will always tell people, it's a gift and a curse being a person that plays on console and PC, because you have an understanding of all of these different systems that are happening in the background, and you actually know what higher levels of like fidelity and gameplay looks like. If you're one of those people that's never played on PC, this is a mute point to you, even though, and I think you should listen to these type of discussions, because this is showing that you're getting inferior products, especially if it's not running and working well on the higher end spectrum. And we're not trying to say that's the only place it should work, because sometimes games just run better on console than they do on PC. But it's just the fact that when you look at certain build videos, you look at Digital Foundry, Slow-Mo sends me a screenshot of 2 different variations of the game running. One was in performance, one was in its performance, and the other one was in its what's the name mode. And I was sitting there looking like, what is that? 22 frames per second running in its non-performance mode, and when it's running in performance mode, it's running at 44. Like, far jump and skip. Like, people don't understand how big of a difference it is between 22 and 30 and 44 and 60. And like, God bless you if you are enjoying the game. If you like the game, because I'm never gonna tell a person not to like something, because you know everybody likes different things for a reason. But it's just disappointing to hear and see issues like this, because they pretty much told people when the specs came out, like, hey, sorry, if you bought your PC in the last 3 years, if you want to run this game optimally, even though it's unoptimally done when it comes to its performance, you got to get a brand new PC almost. And I'm like, oh no, man, not like this. It's just, you know, and then when they start patching demos and stuff, when I saw the patch for the demo, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not touching this game. Like, it's not a beta, it's not an alpha, it's a demo. The game was literally coming out in a couple of months after the demo, like a month and a half after the demo came out. And I was like, it's having issues here. This is like the finished product. Not almost, it's almost, they're just doing a lot of, at this point, all you should be doing is polishing. Bug fixing and quality control should have been done months ago. So what are we doing here? So ultimately, in my mind, it just reinforces the fact that it's good to just find, you know, try games out, never cap for games that you know nothing about until you play them. Because there was a lot of people out there that were sitting there like, oh God, you guys are just hating on Forspoken because it's a PlayStation exclusive. No, because I can only speak for me.
No, the truth is you just capping for the game because it's a console exclusive. That's the truth of the matter. Cut the cap.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like I said, I try not to speak for other people. I can only speak for me. But the same energy that I'm giving this game, I've been giving Halo Infinite for the longest until I actually got back in there and played. So I had to like take in my own advice. I had to say, you know, it took Slow-Mo lying to me about the game to get me back over there.
Okay.
But
real quick, Forte,
yeah,
this is me playing the game at 1080p.
This what?
I just went and found the recording I did of the demo at 1080p. And it has the same frame rate drops, as I said before, compared to the 1440p version. I mean, sorry, not the version, but me playing it at 1440p. It's the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, look at this drop. Look at this 61, 50, 63. What? No. No.
1080p.
No, look, 7. Okay, so she's in a darker environment, so no shadows really. So it goes to 73. But as soon as you get to the bottom of the ladder, 53. What? No, no, not for me. And this is the thing. A lot of people, if I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of people are looking at this like, this looks fine to me. And you know what? God bless you. God bless you, because there is a difference. And then I get it, because a lot of people are, you know, used to 30 frames per second and, you know, everything like that.
Also, and you're about to see the biggest drop. I thought the game crashed. You about to see the biggest drop in frame rate. Like it's going to go from like 80 FPS to like 8 out of nowhere.
I mean, the frame rate right now is it's like 5 and 6 chunks at a time for the most part. Anybody that's listening to the audio version, Slow-Mo has the Forspoken up on the screen for people to see. And yeah, the frame rate is going from 63 to 50 to 53, 62. It's kind of all over the place. And this is just him running around the environment, not in combat or anything. We got up to 71 for a second.
Wait, are you behind on the stream? Because
oh my god, there's 83.
Forte, are you behind on the stream? Because like
I am behind on the stream.
No, because like
that was
go to the part where actually I'll try to run it again here because I want people to see. One, it took like sometimes the cutscenes transitioning between cutscenes takes like 15 seconds for some weird reason. But like this boss fight, I start the boss fight and I'm at like 70 to 80 frames per second and it drops to single digits out of nowhere.
Yeah, I see it's in the 80s. It's 86, then the black screen. Why does it drop to 673 when it goes to a black screen? That should be the highest the frame rate should get.
Yo, it's wild. Like
so we went from 83 to 61 to 50. Oh my god, nah.
Yeah.
Oh, go to game. Oh shoot, dog. How you go from Hold up, man. Let me see. Let me rewind this again. Hold up. This explosion happened in front of you. It's at 61 when when the explosion is over, it dropped to 55. Then it drops again. It freezes 11. To 32, to 22, to 13.
No, it went single digits at one point, then went up to 11, then went back up to where?
Oh my god, the game almost choked.
And again, this is the demo that performs better than the full release.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I let's move on. we I think we kind of killed this topic.
Said that's not frame rate. That's a dramatic effect.
Oh man, it's
Flame said, I'm surprised the game doesn't delete the F in FPS.
And see, this is Boardwalk Country is being exactly what I'm talking about right now. Maybe you need a better PC because it doesn't run like that on my PS5. It actually does run worse than that on your PS5 board because you can't even get the consistent 60 to 70 FPS I get outside of that. You also I had one frame drop that was that dramatic. You on your PS5 you're getting that frequently. Like, stop. This is what I'm talking about, where people be capping for games for no reason. And my game isn't running at dropping to 720p either. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like, people have to stop capping for games. Like it's not even a PlayStation exclusive, bro. Like, why are you treating
it like one? What is the PlayStation performance mode resolution at?
It's under. It's dynamic. It's dynamic.
Don't say it's under 1080p.
It is on. Yeah, it averages under 1080p. Digital Foundry says it's usually around like 900p.
Oh my god!
And it will drop as low as 720p, which is technically that's Nintendo Switch levels resolution.
So you telling me I could be looking? So that performance mode video picture you sent me is with the game scaling its resolution back and forth, and it can still only manage 44 frames per second.
Say it again.
So you're telling me the screenshot that you sent me from Digital Foundry is technically a video of a game that has a dynamic resolution that scales back and forth depending on what's happening in the game. In that game, with the dynamic scaling that can go down as low as 720p, can't even hit 40. It can barely hit 50 frames per second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. The alligator's good too, because that animation was terrible.
Yeah, and it's just like when people like, it's your PC. It's not my PC. I play far better looking games than this on my PC, and I don't have these issues.
That? You literally, all right. When you walk into the, like, think about this. As soon as you walk into the, when you walk down into the actual flower bed, you were hitting like 71. But as soon as you go on the rock, you're hitting 90. Yeah, it's like a 20 gig. It's like a 20 frame drop. It's just going from the flower bed to the rock.
It's poorly optimized. I literally spent 20 minutes talking about all the reasons why it's poorly optimized, and I still get a fanboy. Sorry, Bobor, you're a fanboy. You've proven it already in my chat.
Leave him
saying
alone. He's
DPS. Your PC.
He's here. He's here with us, man. We got to rock
PC.
with him.
You don't know anything about PCs, Bobor. So like, why even enter into this conversation? All right, you just stop it. We can move on. We can move on.
Shout out to Dorian Gray. He says they out here capping for PowerPoints.
Exactly, man. Like, why? This isn't even a. This is the last thing I'm gonna say on this, and we're gonna move on. What the freak is the point of lying, defending, and twisting your own logic around because you wouldn't do this for an Xbox game? What's the point of doing all of this nonsense for a game that's not even a first-party PlayStation game? The only reason you're doing it is because it's a timed console exclusive, and you're so caught up in your stupid fanboy console war that you have to treat this game as if it's one of our games. But what are you really doing? You're literally defending something that's indefensible. If it was on the other side, you would be doing the exact opposite, and we all know it. That makes you someone that just can't be trusted. Because the words that you say, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you say. All we gotta look at what color is on the box. Is it blue or is it green? And then from there, I already know what you're going to say because you're that predictable. And frankly, I'm on another level of that. Okay, that's too basic for me. Y'all fanboys too basic for me. Y'all conversations are too basic for me. I don't care about that stuff because I don't cap for a platform. And I don't need to twist myself around and make myself look stupid because I'm capping for a platform. I just enjoy games. Or not enjoy games when they don't perform well. And I'm honest about it. And you not.
Listen, man, I'm with you. I think in general, like I said, I played it it was only available on PlayStation 5 for the beta, or the demo, I should say. And I couldn't even get through the first 5-10 minutes of it. I was like, nope, not for me, because this performance sucks. People don't know this, but if you go on my YouTube channel and go under the search bar and type in game performance, I made like a 17-minute video probably 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. When there was this huge discussion around, game performance or performance or gameplay mechanics. And I have always been a person that have always said, I need the performance, I need the gameplay, I need all that stuff to sync up. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Those things have to go together hand in hand with each other, because you can have really good performance in the game, but if the game mechanics suck, all you're doing is playing a game that just plays and looks pretty decent and it has a really good flow to it. But if none of the other stuff is there, then you're kind of playing a lifeless soul. So for myself, it just ultimately just comes back to, everybody just needs to, calm down. Slow-mo's definitely not in that fanboy stuff. None of us really are, even though we got some people in the chat that like to go back and forth, but it's all in funny games and stuff. We can all have jokes and stuff, But ultimately, you just got to know, like, man, listen, that's why I made my point. Hopefully you are not having these problems, because if you aren't having these problems, I envy you, because there's a lot of people that are, and you are just happy to be one of those people that's in the minority, and that's kind of where I'll leave it.
Hey, look at that. Like, class was in session.
The was in session. That's what that was.
The lecture is over. There'll be homework, and there'll be homework later for those who need it. But we're good. We can move on now. Let's discuss Xbox. Now I'm about to get the other side mad.
Oh Lord.
The guys that was all like, yeah, slow mo, yeah, get them. Now they about to be mad at me.
I don't know why they about to be mad at you.
Oh, because we're gonna talk about these Xbox quarter 2 results.
Oh, those, okay. Yep, go ahead.
So
we kind of disagree on this, but go ahead.
Oh, I like it. Let's go. Okay, so here are the quarter 2 results for Xbox. Microsoft came out and discussed their financial reports. When it came to gaming, this is what we got. Gaming revenue down 13%. Xbox content and services down 12%. Xbox hardware revenue down 13%. First party and third party content declined. But hey, Game Pass subscriptions grew. Now, should we be shocked? I would say no. Because when you only drop one game in its Pentiment in the entire calendar year, you shouldn't expect to have any games, any growth. You shouldn't expect to actually be, continuing to sell consoles at a high clip, continue to sell software at a high clip. What software? You ain't dropping nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you kind of sound like you agree. You said you said you was going to disagree with me. What's up?
No, I'm just saying. I'm listening.
Okay, all right. That's all I gotta say. What do you have to say?
Only thing I have to say about this is, the one thing I will agree with you on. I'll say that first. Are we really surprised that these numbers are down? I even said this yesterday.
Not at all.
I'm not surprised. That's why
I'm surprised it's not lower.
That's what I said yesterday. I said,
so how are you disagreeing with me?
Well, no, because you're just gonna make people mad. So I was thinking that you were probably gonna go a little bit harder. So we probably are a little bit more in step on this.
What harder than you didn't drop any games and you deserve these results? Like, how much harder do I need to go? Do I need to call Phil Spencer names or something?
No, because there's been people out there just talking about this stuff over the course of the last couple of days, like how this is unacceptable and stuff. And I'm like, listen, man, you can be mad about the scenario what Xbox did in 2022, but this was predictable. This is just the end result of a terrible year for Xbox. And I don't know why people were trying to, it's like everybody was trying to egg it on even more. I ain't know if that's where you were going with this.
No, I wasn't trying to egg it on, but I was just making the parallel that we literally went from a topic where a certain side of the console war people.
Stop it. Call him by his real name. Call him by his name.
No, I know that he's not the only one that feels that way. So I'm talking about all of them. A certain segment of people.
Yeah, but he's the one that's upset. He was the one that here though.
There are people who are listening now, and there are people who be listening to the replay who will feel the same. So this is for all of them. There's a segment of people that feel a certain way about Forspoken is based upon simply because the fact that it's a timed, a timed 2-year timed console exclusive, and therefore they treat it like it's a real exclusive, so therefore they have to cap for it. That's that. And then we went from that topic to this topic, which is Xbox taking massive L's, and financially, it's L after L after L, and that people would be up, like the other side of the coin can be upset about that. That's all I meant by that. Like that people might get upset about what I'm about to say on the other side, because fanboys are fanboys. They can't acknowledge that something is negative about the piece of plastic that they worship.
Right.
And so that's all it is really. And so here we are, and like I said, gaming revenue down 13%, content and services down 12%, hardware revenue down 13%, first and third party content declined.
Well, and
then they didn't even give us the percentage of Game Pass subscriptions grew, nor would they tell us the exact number of Game Pass subscriptions. They haven't done that in over a year now.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna tell you that number.
The only somewhat unofficial number we have is Sony speaking to regulators and saying they're at 29 million. So it's like you dropped one game, first party game, in the entirety of 2022, and it's a game that they didn't even market. Nobody that isn't a hardcore like gamer even knew that Pentiment dropped, or even knew what Pentiment was, and that's the only game they dropped.
You sound so deflated.
Hey, no, I'm not deflated. I'm just like it's.
So how do you?
It's elementary. It's elementary. Of course, you would be here.
So let's all right. Let's reel this in. Then let's go back to just the gist of how you truly feel about it. So being a person that owns an Xbox Series S, being a person that has Game Pass, that has all these other things, when you see those numbers. Granted, we don't care. We really don't truly care about the numbers. This is just more of a talking point because we do a podcast.
Right.
But seeing those numbers and seeing where Xbox is, so what is your overall take from just what Xbox is doing and how everything is going so far for them this year, or going into this year, because this is going to impact this year?
Let's put a pin in that question, because I think that question is more apt to discuss after the next topic.
Okay, that's fine too. We can do that. I just think in general. Okay, so just going back to that, then my biggest thing is, I don't expect everybody to know this, because you have to kind of be around it to know it. I'm not gonna say I first saw just bad numbers in general. Like I expected sales for Xbox to be down, because right now a lot of people are looking for the X, and the X is the system that people want. The fact that you can't even find that system, like it's rare. It's more rare to get that system than it is to get a digital PS5 right now. And a digital PS5 don't even exist, it seems like. It's like Xbox purposely, I don't know what they're doing. It's like they have S's all over the place, but there's no X's. People want to buy the X. So I think we're at that point now where a lot of people are like...
You think that is by design, or literally they just don't have the inventory of the X to put out there?
But see, that's the thing though. So did they go hard in the beginning did they go hard through the middle of the year with their production, knowing that was a good opportunity for them to do that, because they knew Sony was going to have better production during the holidays? So they said, let's take advantage of the time right now while Sony doesn't have the production. That could be it. They may have just ran out of the ability to produce the system at a high clip for the holiday season. They probably, did all that early in the year, because there was a point, well, not even a point, there were multiple points throughout this entire 2022 where it was just crazy how many Xboxes, Series X's were out in the wild compared to PlayStation 5s. And people was always talking about that, like, well, how can Xbox have all of this hardware out there when it comes to that system, and PlayStation can barely do it?
I mean, it could potentially be a production pipeline issue. Like the Series S, even though it's the same architecture, the Series S is a different SoC than the Series X. And if they just can simply make more, like they could, like, I don't know if TSMC, who's the chip maker for them and literally everybody, Sony too, if they just can't make as many X's right now as they can make S's. Or it could be something different. It could be another part of the product line, not necessarily SMC issue. It could be something else with the X that is problematic right now, and they have a shortage on. We don't know. I mean, but the thing is that it's like when you have two completely different SKUs, you're gonna have those kind of problems. Like Sony doesn't have that problem because Sony has the same SKU, just a digital version and a non-digital version. It's literally just a assembly difference between the two. It's the same console,
right?
So when they got a shortage, it's a shortage for both the digital and the physical, not just one or the other. Right. So, but again, I don't even know if that's the problem or whether they just wanted to push that S out there this last holiday. I don't know. Like, I don't know where it is, but like, I mean, you talked about it yesterday about how you don't see as many Series X's out there as you see Series S's, and they are people who are asking for them and they're just not available. So don't know.
Yeah. So like I said, it's definitely not a good look to be down in hardware this early in a generation. So I definitely understand people's thoughts when they say that, but I also still come back to saying that, and also this is still the
whole shortage thing. That's just us here speculating. There is no facts whatsoever that they're having a shortage. They haven't come out and said that they having a supply issue. We don't know that. We're just trying to speculate on why.
We just know that
they not putting them on shelves.
Yeah, we just know that all I can tell you from my little corner of the universe, I barely see X's. I see S's all the time, and I don't know why that is, but it seems to be very it's not a centralized thing. I have people, I literally have one of my friends, shout out to Sivan, he literally called me and asked me if I could get him an Xbox, a Series X. I was like, oh, I can see if one near you do. He's like, oh yeah, bro, I already tried that. He said, I know. He said, when are you supposed to get one in? It literally took me almost 3 weeks. He called me right before Christmas wanting to get one. He wanted to get 2 of them, and I was like, okay, I'll see when I get one. So he happened to find a store that had one, so he bought that one. I didn't get a chance to call him until 2 weeks ago. Now, mind you, this was a conversation that started before Christmas, like a couple of weeks before Christmas, and I was able to finally call him, not to get 2, just to get 1. And I saw it coming in my shipment. I opened up a box. I was like, oh my God, I got a Series X. And I called him on the phone and said, you still need this? And he bought it from me and I shipped it to him, and he paid $50 in shipping for it, because you can't just walk in anywhere and find them. It's like I can find more PlayStation 5s which is crazy. Like, I think my store has so many I still have PlayStation 5s in my store, more than I can actually count at this point.
Right.
But I don't understand anything else.
Shout out to Aralimus in the chat who provided a link from Game Rant. This is from June of last year. It says the title was Xbox Series X console supply issues could continue throughout 2022. And I just want to highlight, there is a paragraph here that says, during a recent Xbox investor call and spotted by GamesIndustry.biz, Xbox executive Tim Stewart confirmed that there could be supply chain issues into 2023, with multiple factors playing a role in the console shortage. So it's not just the chip. Again, it's basically what I kind of speculated, that like there are could be other issues in the product line that is causing them to slow down the production of it. So I mean, look, it is what it is. We've seen before when PlayStation had a shortage, it wasn't able to create as many consoles. That they were losing NPDs. They weren't, people were out there like jumping on anything that they could get that would show up in a store. The scalpers were on eBay making a killing. It just
seems like at this point And like I said, this is all speculation. And I just feel like my first thought still stands for me. It just feels like Microsoft went out and said PlayStation doesn't have they have supply issues. Let's take advantage of it right now while they do. We can get more systems out there for the X, meaning that's the highest end system you can buy on a consistent basis throughout the regular parts of the year. And then we'll deal with the holiday. We'll drop the Series S on sale for $200 and $250 in certain territories, and that will be the lead system for the holiday for us, which actually did pretty well for them. It still was 13% down, but I could only imagine what it would have been if they didn't have that system on the market. And then PlayStation, on the other hand, had a crazy amount of systems to sell during the holidays, which makes me think that yes, they were able to produce systems during the regular year, but a lot of those systems, they probably held out to the end of the year because they knew that's when a lot more people were going to be buying. Like, they already knew people were going to buy their system no matter what. But guess what? They also knew that they had a game called God of War coming out in November, and they wanted to do a bundle with that system. And what is a good way to make your game look even better than it actually is? Well, I mean, God of War is a great game no matter what. But bundle that thing in a bundle for the holiday, and you count every last one of those digital sales as a sale of that game, along with a system that's going to sell automatically. You're going to hit some crazy, ridiculous numbers. And I'm still waiting for them to announce what the numbers for God of War are, because they haven't done it yet. So that should be coming very soon when they do their financial calls and stuff. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, I just think that PlayStation just they played the same game that Microsoft played early in the year. They just played it at the end, and Microsoft didn't have the stock to keep up with them.
Yeah, and I imagine like strategy and all kinds of other stuff, it comes into play, and when you're dealing with not being able to make all the units that you want to make. I imagine it all comes into play in like, well, if we only have a certain number of stock, let's try to drop or push more stock at times where people are looking. You know, like instead of having them sitting on the shelves collecting dust, well, actually that wouldn't be the case. That's not what. Well, instead of just dribbling them out, so to speak, when we can, right, when we don't have games. Maybe, you know, hold some stock together and then push them all out together when we do have content in. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody did that when God of War Ragnarok, before God of War Ragnarok came out. And it wouldn't surprise me if they try to do something similar to that when Starfield comes out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think they already replaced Halo on the back of the box with Starfield, so.
As they should.
They already did that. Now the Borbor Kotri, he's back. Well, he probably never left, but appreciate you being here.
I appreciate
for slow mo.
I want to apologize for me.
I want to apologize for slow mo.
I said what I said, and I don't take nothing personal. I hope you don't either.
Don't take nothing personal that's said on DPS podcast, because we care about everybody, and we just want people to know that we ain't fanboying up in here. That's all it is.
Right. So yesterday, and this kind of gets into the question you asked earlier. There was a developer direct that came out that was hosted by, well, not really hosted. I think the format was excellent. Actually, it was a developer focused, yet also I think it's a good balance between developers speaking and also showing games, which is what people want to see. And they showed games. And what they did was they had developers kind of speaking over these in-depth footage of those games, and I thought it was actually very, very well done as far as the format goes. They showed 5 games. Those 5 games were Elder Scrolls Online's new expansion, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, Redfall, and a surprise stealth launch of a game, Hi-Fi Rush, made by Tango Gameworks. So we're gonna go through what we saw with these games, how we kind of felt about them and whatnot, and then we can kind of discuss like that strategy and whether we thought that was like, as far as like foregoing not showing anything at the VGAs, which had a much bigger audience. a much bigger audience than say this direct, then no, we can discuss it when we get to it. It's
yeah.
Let me pull up. So I think I got this in order. I think the first thing they showed was Minecraft Legends. Now, I am not a Minecraft fan, so this is got like I don't have much desire to watch this. So I mean, not watch this, but play this. But what are your thoughts on this one? Because I mean, look, I'm pretty sure it's going to do fine because Minecraft has got a huge fan base, a ton of people that love it. But for me, it's a huge pass. What about you?
Well, it's never really a pass because you could just download it inside the Game Pass. It's only a pass when you got to pay for it. But I am, like I said on the stream the other day, I am more interested in it just due to having family and people in my family that likes to play Minecraft. And I'll never play the base Minecraft game because I'm just not into the base one, but I'm into the stuff that is like based around it, like how Dungeons was, because I love dungeon crawlers. Diablo is like one of my favorite games of all time. So having something that was close to that in its gameplay was really, really cool. I love RPGs and stuff, so Minecraft Legends being based into that, having a 4-player co-op RPG setting and stuff in it is really, really enticing. Now, will I put hours and hours and hours of time into it? Will I no life it? Will I even put on the first day it comes out, like the game we're going to talk about later? I put 5 hours into high on life. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush. I did that. Will I even do that on the first day it comes out? Probably not. But it will be a game that will probably be in rotation whenever one of my kids want to play it or something and want to jump in there, or someone in the community like you or someone else wants to jump in there and play it that I haven't played with. I will probably do that. But I didn't expect it to be as like dense as it was, or not dense, as deep in all of the different systems that it have. I think that everybody always wondered if they're ever going to do a Minecraft 2. I think that's never going to happen. I just think they're just going to keep iterating and building on the base game that they have, and they kind of did that when they added the ray tracing mode and everything to kind of give it another coat of paint. So I think that's never going to happen, but they're going to keep continually giving you different ways of playing Minecraft when it comes to the aesthetic of how the game is actually perceived out there. So it's not going to just be building this, building that. They're going to do things like RPGs and dungeon crawlers.
Hey, don't be surprised if this is the format that you see Halo going to in the future. Where there'll be random Halo games being outsourced to third-party developers, and it's a different genre, but it is the Halo universe, which is like what was the other one that was the RPG? What was the one we played it with Eric Jackson and your daughter? What was the name of Minecraft? What was that?
Dungeons.
Dungeons. So like that
was the dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, look, this game is not
it's cool for the people that like Minecraft. If you really like Minecraft, you're going to probably like this. If you like the aesthetic of Minecraft, you're definitely going to like it. I think that's why Microsoft started with it, because they knew they were never going to have as many people watching the show than they had at that one moment, because everybody wants to know, like, what's the first thing they're going to show? So at that point, you're going to get the most and maximum people that's watching the show. So they started out with Minecraft to get people like, oh, this looks cool for something Minecraft. And then they just, go down the list from there. So I like the overall style and presentation they had for Minecraft. But like I said, it's not for everybody. But it is something that I will say I will play. I just don't know how much of it I will.
Gotcha. Now, I'm trying to do these in order of the games that were shown. I think that
after they did Forza after that.
Okay, all right. So Forza, a Forza presentation was shown after that, which looks absolutely beautiful. Like it looks amazing. If the game looks like that when it comes out at launch, that's something significant. So this is like the new Forza tech 2.0, 3.0, whatever version just now on for Forza Tech. It's an amazing looking game. They said during the presentation that it's going to be 4K 60. Look, it's on consoles.
They didn't even sniff at that either.
Yeah, I mean, look, on consoles, that's going to be dynamic resolution. So just like but if they can stay to a dynamic, like close to 1440p on the resolution that kind of scales up and down. Sometimes it's 4K, sometimes it doesn't. But as long as they maintain 60 frames per second, that would be really, really good. Now, I barely play racers. I will play Forza Horizon. I'll play Need for Speed. I'm not playing Simulation Racer. It's not for me. But I know, Forte, you like these. So what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's been God so long. It's been, by the time this game come out, we will be at 5.5 years since Forza Motorsport 7. I love Forza. People will always say, and I think to an extent they're always right, the Horizon series is the funner version of Forza, but Motorsport to me is always the better game, because I feel like all of the things that they learn inside of Motorsport, they they implement into what you get in Horizon, and it makes Horizon what it is. But Horizon is just more approachable because it's an open world game. It has some sim elements. It's got a lot of arcade elements, and then they do fun things inside of it versus turn left on this track, turn around this corner. If you're not into the whole track-based thing, you kind of will be like, Motorsport isn't all that great, and it isn't all that appealing to me.
It's for a very specific demographic.
I love the technical aspect of that, and being able to see that they're actually leaning into that more. And I like how they said that, we're the premier. Like, F whatever everyone else says. There is nothing better. And they even said this is the most simulated version of a racing game you will ever play. Now, of course, they're talking about as of right now. And we all know that, Gran Turismo's moniker is the real driving sim. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth when this game finally does come out. But the Forza Tech engine is one of the best racing engines out there. It's one of the best engines, period, out there. This game is more than likely going to be the first game that truly takes advantage of all the power that the Xbox has at its core. Unfortunately, it's a racing game, and racing games, people in their eyes feel like are the easiest one to produce that with. But I will say, when you look at the fact that there's ray tracing in this game, not in some sub menu, not inside Forza Vista like it was inside of Horizon 5. It's literally inside of the game when you're playing it and you're going around corners. You're not just in the replays. You see ray tracing in the game. So this game has a lot to live up to, but it's one franchise under Microsoft I feel like they've never let us down on since they've been working on it, and it's Forza. And I just want them to make sure that they don't start with this game, because a lot of people are going to be looking like, hey, if you have to knock this one out the park, because this is the gimme for them. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be in it on day one, and definitely going to be looking forward to seeing other people, what they got to do when it comes to the game too.
Cool. So yeah, now I know they had a presentation today. Did they actually give a release date today? I think I probably would have saw that they would have.
No, they didn't. What the?
All right, okay, so look, this game ain't coming out in the first half of this year.
No, this is the thing. So because I saw this during the Iron Lord stream, if you looked at the coming soon, the actual font that they use for it, that all the other G's for coming or anything like that with a G in it look like a G. But for Forza, they had coming, and then it was for the G, it said 6. And then after it was 2023. So they still have time to announce it to still come out in June. Because if you remember correctly, they did say that everything at this showcase is focused on stuff that's coming in the next few months. So Forza Now, granted, June is still further than few because few is like 3 or more. Well, it's 3 or more is few. So it could be in June. They just haven't announced a date on it. But I hear on the back end from a couple people I know that this game got eternally delayed. So maybe it did get delayed from its original date, which was like March or April, maybe only a couple months into June. But I thought it was really interesting that G looked like a 6. And they're kind of shooting. And the reason they didn't give you an actual date is because they're shooting for a date inside of June. And hopefully if they do it in June, that's when they're going to do their E3 announcements and stuff. And hopefully at E3, they can drop a date and say it's available now. Maybe that could be the game that they say, and it's going to be available today. They could do something like that with Forza, and a lot of people will go crazy.
I don't know if Shadow... That's not even really a shadow drop, but just like saying it's available now. For that is
for Game Pass. Yeah, say it's available. It's a very good precedence for them to come out and say the game drops on February. Just pick a day, not February. Just pick a day in January.
Just pick a day now. Just pick a day. Just look. If you think it's going to be June, and if it's not June, then delay it to August or whatever. Like,
no, I think it's going to be June. No, I think
it's
going to be June.
What I'm saying is they should have announced the date yesterday or today, and then look. If you need a couple more months, fine. Delay it a couple more months. But like this Hammond and Han.
Let's just say, if this whole June thing pans out to be what it is, it's in June. They don't want to say the date yet. Let's say they say that it's coming out June 16th. Say they already set the date for June 16th. Say next month they come out and say Forza Motorsport is coming out June 16th, which is the week of E3. So the week ending of E3.
That's fine. Because I don't think showing up at E3 and like having another trailer for Forza Motorsport and saying it's available now is the right move.
I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. No, I don't think they're doing that. What I'm saying they're going to do is they're going to blow people away, and they're going to be like, if you got Game Pass, they said, and guess what? They're going to show a trailer with Forza Motorsport again because it's going to, it's not going to probably be out yet. They'll show another trailer of it, and at the end of that trailer, they go come out on the stage and they go tell people, guess what? On June 16th, you'll be able to play this, but if you got Game Pass, you'll be able to download it right now, a week early. And the reason I think they'll do that is because they always
telling people the date in June.
No. They'll already tell people the date well before that. They always reiterate the dates every time they do these shows anyway. So just like when they did Starfield, they reiterated that date 15 times over until they delayed it. They talked about it at E3.
Just as long as they give people ample time to know what the date is before.
Oh no, I think it's going to be April. I think in April they're going to probably give the date for that. I don't think it's going to be any later than that. I'm just saying when they give the date, people will know that Forza Motorsport is coming out whenever it's coming out. If they say June 16th, which is the day that I'm thinking it's going to probably come out on, if they say it's coming out June 16th, they'll probably announce that in April. They're going to say Forza Motorsport June 16th, week of E3. It's releasing that day. And then I think at E3, they're going to come on stage and they're going to tell people, they're going to show another trailer, getting people hyped for the game coming out at the end of that week. And they're going to tell people right there on that stage, and if you're on Game Pass, you can play it right now. Book that. I swear I think they're going to do that. Because you know what? The real reason I think they're going to do it, because if you buy the Ultimate Edition of the game, they always give you early access to the game. And what have they normally done with Ultimate Editions inside of Game Pass, especially if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber? They give you the highest tier of the game and they give it to you early access. So I'm thinking they're going to end up doing the same thing with Forza. If you got Game Pass Ultimate, you're going to play it a week early, which is going to be announced at E3, and they're going to tell you to go home and play it that day.
All right. I mean, we'll see what happens. Man, I used the wrong thing. Let me go back. Where is it? Boom. That back here. And then so the next game was
It was Hi-Fi.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush.
I keep wanting to call it High on Life.
Hi-Fi Rush, which is a shadow drop. They announced the game for the first time ever during the developer direct, and also launched it. It was available like a hour or two later, maybe it
was like 30. It's like 30 to 45 minutes after the fact.
Cool. It was available on Xbox and PC. It is a rhythm-based beat 'em up game, and I gotta say, it's actually not a bad game. It's actually
Speak your truth.
It's pretty good. Like, now look, I was digging it until they started talking about rhythm stuff. I was like, man, I ain't really trying to be like not doing any damage, because I'm not caring about hitting, doing the attacks on the rhythm of the music that's playing. But it's very loosely, like, you get like crit damage for hitting enemies on rhythm, and it's really it's not all that strict on it. So it's not that big of a problem.
Well, wait till you get later in the game.
Oh boy, I've only made it to the hideout, so I've only beat the first big boss, and I've only beat the first chapter or the first act. So when you meet up with the girl, so that's as far as I've gone. I haven't played it since then. You're definitely much further.
I beat the third boss.
Okay. What are your thoughts of the game?
It's fun. It does have points where it's just when you feel like the game is simplistic, cause it does get when you're in a part of the game where you just feel like it's very simplistic. It's like you hit this button, you hit that button, things happen on the screen. You're not really penalized for not going off the beat of the music or anything. So you feel like right now it's just even people when they were watching me stream, it was yeah, this is really simple. But as you play through it, you but you get more tutorials, and they open up more of the game to you. Put it this way, I got halfway through the second level and I still wasn't able to parry yet. They didn't even teach you how to parry, because somebody in this chat, I think it was Mitchie, or somebody in the chat was like, hey, can you parry in this game? And I was like, at that point I was like, no, it's just I think dodging is your parry, because they haven't even introduced it yet. But once I got to the third level, then they introduced parrying, and then it opens up the combat even more, and then you're talking about projectile shooting from enemies in that sky that you can't reach. So this game does a really good job, in my opinion, of kind of walking you point by point. And just when you think the game gets to a point where it's getting easier and easier, they throw something at you to say, okay, break it up. Break up the monotony. We're about to make you do something else. And I think that's a perfect way to introduce
I got a question for you
to a person.
Did they ever explain why Chai, that's the name of the main character,
why he ended up with one arm?
Because he's got his arm in a sling. Did he break it or something? Is it a birth defect? I don't know. But
no, they haven't. You just wake up and have a prosthetic arm.
What? Why? And it's in other games that are aren't made by a AAA studio and don't have this much of a narrative. The animation is great, and I think all that stuff is very well done. But it's you kind of not really explaining why this kid is even going through this test procedure to get a prosthetic mechanical arm in the first place. He's going to replace his right arm with a mechanical arm, and it's the only explanation we got is his arm is in the sling. It's huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Why?
Yeah, that's it.
But whatever. That's the only part that I thought was just so I don't understand the motivation here. But outside that, I think the combat's pretty fun. I think like I said, it's not a rhythm game where it's you strictly have to keep to the rhythm, and it's not you can't just decide to just go off script and do other things that wouldn't necessarily be just making sure you're hitting the buttons right when the beat when you need to for the beat and everything. It's it's not that strict with it. At least it isn't up to this point. So and I think it's pretty humorous. It's humor that lands, unlike High on Life. I think High on Life's humor is just Rick and Morty, and some of it lands and some of it's just that was a bit much and over the top. But the humor in this game is actually pretty funny, I think, and it's got that good right level of humor for what they're doing. At least for me personally. And this is, it's a decent little game. I don't mind it so far. I'm still gonna play it.
I'm definitely going back to your thing earlier when it comes to the mission structure, like how many missions it is. There's really no way to know, but I know once you get past the third boss, you get introduced to like the whole mob of all the bosses, and it seems like it's this you have to take them all down systematically until you get to the main boss. And at this point, I think there was like 5 of them that I saw, so it's probably a good 9, maybe 10 chapters in this game, and I just beat the third one, so I wouldn't be surprised. And like I said, maybe if you fly, the thing is, you could probably fly through this game a little faster, but there's so many different.
What difficulty are you playing it on? I'm playing it on hard.
I'm playing on hard too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm playing on hard too. It's it definitely is kind of unforgiving when you get to those higher levels and stuff.
Oh, good.
Or not higher levels, but the next levels. I'm telling you.
I found it to be pretty easy so far. So I'm glad that difficulty ramps up.
Oh yeah, it ramps up just in the stuff that they throw at you. So it's like the timing and stuff doesn't change because it is still all to the beat of the game. But the stuff that they throw at you, it's like you almost feel like you a one-man band by the time this is all said and done, by the time you get that far in the game. But it's good. I really like it. It's one of those games that I'm definitely going to finish it. I don't know. I have this weird thing like where certain games just click for me. The last time a game really clicked for me was Shadow Warrior, where I just played it until I beat it. And that was like over the course of a week. And this game is something about it. It's just fun, and it's kind of mindless fun, but it does challenge you to a point where you do have to kind of pay attention to what's happening around you, because you can get overwhelmed if you're not. But I just like the fact that Microsoft, and going back to the thing about the event, I just like the fact that they did something that I wanted them to do. It's not was it like the thing that people wanted? No. But it's what we needed, because I feel like Microsoft hadn't given us nothing over the course of the last year. So it's good to know that they came out and said, hey, here's a game, to, whet your appetites to get you ready for the stuff that we're releasing later in the year. And I thought that was a really good thing that they actually did. And then the game was really fun.
You see about 5 hours in? You see about 5 hours in?
I'm 5 hours and 53 minutes.
Okay, cool. And look, it's on PC, it's real easy.
Are you playing on PC?
Yeah,
that's what you're playing at, right?
Yeah,
okay, I played it on
Xbox. I'm playing it at 165 frames per second.
I need to download it on PC.
Yeah, it's super easy to run. It's not taxing anything on my PC. I'm pretty sure, from what I've heard from people,
Forspoken.
That goes without saying. For what people are saying on Xbox, it runs very well as well. So it's a decent game. I would say, look, if you have Game Pass, give it a shot. It's not, if you already got Game Pass, you didn't even know the game existed 2 days ago. You might like it. You never know. Like, look, I think it's pretty, like I said before, I'm not really into rhythm games. Like, I didn't even bother playing Metal Hellsinger, the rhythm based first person shooter, because I just didn't bother. Like, I just don't like rhythm based games. The last rhythm game that I actually liked was like Parappa the Rapper, like back when I was like 12 years old or something. So like, I don't play those kind of games. I don't really care for them. That said, I gave it a shot, and it's like, because it's not so strict towards that. At least so far, I'm having fun with it. So nice. Give it a shot. They might like it. Next was Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls was next.
So look, I am not an Elder Scrolls Online person at all. So I did not care about I really didn't pay attention to what they was talking about. I will acknowledge this, that visually it looks way better now than it did when I first tried it a long time ago. I think I may have tried it back in like 2017 or 2016 or something. I think they had like a free weekend, and I was bored, and I tried it, and I did like maybe the first tutorial area stuff, and that's just like I'm not big on MMOs like that. So it just didn't. It was never probably going to pull me in, but I'm sure people who are big on Elder Scrolls Online are going to be hyped for this. What are your thoughts on it?
I think they are too, and the fact that they're giving the first 20 expansions for a limited time free for people to play is a really good marketing way of getting people into the game that probably wasn't interested, because they did show a really good breadth of content of stuff that you could play, talking about all the different bosses you could take down, the different environments you can go to, especially if you're a person that loves Morrowind. You play games like you like all the different Elder Scrolls like Skyrim, and you played I forget the other one. I think they did a really good job in the presentation around that. They didn't spend a lot of time on it because they knew they were going to have a big blowout of 45 plus minutes of stuff that they were going to be talking about after the fact. And then there's no subscription required for the game. Now, if you want to pay to get some extra stuff, you can, but you get a lot of good benefits inside your Game Pass subscription in the first place. So if you are a fan of MMO RPGs, I think this is a good time to jump in. They made me download it because I was actually really interested in some of the stuff they showed. So I did download. I haven't jumped in yet because I want to wait till I got time to actually do a lot of the stuff in there. But I really like what they showed, and it was actually impressive because I didn't know they had that many standalone DLCs that came out with that game already.
Yeah. Excuse me. This game has been out for so long. This game has got to have like half a dozen expansions.
Half a dozen, yeah.
At least, right? And this is one of those games that when Microsoft acquired ZeniMax Media, and they spoke about like the kind of games that were already established out there will always be supported on other platforms, aka PlayStation. This is what they were talking about, like Elder Scrolls, like this expansion. If you're playing on PlayStation, you're gonna get this expansion the same way people on Xbox and PC are getting it. So, so even like the PlayStation only people that play this game or maybe mildly interested in it, they are still, you still got something out there for you if you're down for this. Last game that was shown, and it might be a bit more of a discussion here because there's been a lot of discussion about it, was Redfall. And this was a little bit more of a deep dive into the game and the mission structure and looking at each of the 4 characters that they've shown so far and how they play and what their like skill sets are. I don't see Far Cry. I know the developers came out and was like, it's not Left 4 Dead, it's not Borderlands, it's Far Cry. And I'm like, I don't know about that, bro. Like, it don't look like Far Cry to me. Definitely not any Far Cry game I've ever played. But the gunplay doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look great either. It looks okay. Like, it looks okay enough that I am still going to play it and test it out and see for myself. But what I do like is the differences in kit and abilities for each of the vampire hunters that you have. That is very much Borderlands. Sorry if they've never played Borderlands before, but actually no, they definitely have played Borderlands because one of their characters is basically Mordecai from Borderlands. But anyway, But I'm still interested in playing this. They gave us a release date, May 2nd, and I'm still down. My biggest complaint remains, and I hope they at some point fix this post-launch, but hopefully quickly, that they've been working on this, because the feedback on this has been well stated ever since they announced it. co-op progress only goes when you're playing in co-op only goes to the host that's playing the game, which means that like if me and Forte are playing this game together and I have say Layla, he has Deventer, then he's hosting the game. Once we're done playing and I go play solo, everything that was done none of that progress goes towards me. Like I gotta do all that same content again, and it's not guaranteed that it doesn't work, because I played Remnant from the Ashes with Luca, and me and her had a great time, but we were having so much fun with the game that that fun overshadowed our frustration with having to play the same content twice. We would literally play like 2 or 3 hours as me as host, and then do those same 2 or 3 hours with her game as host. And so you're looking at the same content twice, and because there were little things here and there where like you can make different decisions and it would kind of change some things, and also because the bosses had RNG. So you could go to the end of a dungeon and not fight the same boss sometimes, which was that kind of kept some differences there. Some actual, it's not literally the exact same thing for both for both of our playthroughs. Now, I don't know if Redfall is doing that. I don't know how they're going to try to keep that fresh, but like I think the best way to do this is from a game that they are taking a lot of cues from, which is Borderlands. The way Borderlands works, it's drop in and drop out, no problem at all. If you were playing through a campaign, the story in Borderlands 2, and you just so happen to join some people who are further ahead of you, and you see some things that you haven't quite done yet, you go back to play your game. Yes, you're still back at where you were, but when you reach the point of the content that you completed with other people, this pop-up comes on screen and says, hey, you've done this already. Do you want to continue to do it again, or do you want to skip it and get to the parts that you haven't done?
Right.
Having that option is like, that's a game that came out in 2012, 2011. Over a decade later, and we still haven't been able to make that be standard, when multiplayer games and co-op and multiplayer is more prevalent now than ever. Like, come on, we gotta do better, man. And at least give people the choice. Like, if they want to do the content, if they loved the missions they were doing and the gameplay so much that they don't mind doing it again, that's fine. But give people the choice to choose whether they want to do it or not. That's my only real big issue with this game. What about you?
No, that was the same thing I mentioned on the Iron Lord's stream. Other than that, I really, really like the overall aesthetic of the game. I like the way that the guns look and the way that you really can't tell feel yet because we haven't played it yet. But it looks like it actually has really, really good gameplay mechanics when it comes to the guns. And I'm all about, when you're shooting a gun, I want it to feel like it's shooting a gun.
Right. It should feel snappy. It should have decent recoil. Decent bloom, not too much bloom. The ADS, the aiming down sights, you need to have weapons that accentuate that, and especially when it comes to the PvE game, aiming down sights as a first-person shooter is a must. And and the aim down sights should not be sluggish, and it shouldn't feel like it's taking forever to aim at that point, because then it's just like, well, why am I aiming down sights and I'm taking damage because it's problematic. As well as weapon switching. Well, weapon swapping needs to be fast and snappy too. So, and I mean, look, I know they were supposedly got a lot of help from id Software when it came to their gameplay mechanics, because Arcane's games have never been strong on that. That's never really been their strong suit, which, like, I recognize they're a quality developer but like the games have never really appealed to me too much in the past, because the gunplay for those games that did have gunplay, it's been always been more of like stealth stuff. And because it's more stealth, that you can still have good gunplay for what you're attempting to do without actually good gameplay for what you're attempting to do without actually having really good gunplay. I couldn't play Deathloop because I thought the gunplay was abysmal, and it irked me so much, and I just couldn't do it. This game is so focused on those aspects that, like, if the gunplay isn't good, it's just not. It's so focused on that. It needs to be really good. So I'm glad they got some consulting from another studio that has specialized in that and excelled at it. Now I was just hoping that, like, it's better than what it's been in their previous games. What are your thoughts on the gunplay in particular?
No, I mean, like I said, that's the biggest thing for me. When the one thing I like about the gunplay is the customization that you can have, especially when it comes to like bayonets and stuff like that. I really like how you can basically make your character your own when it comes to like just the style and the way that your weapons perform and stuff. I also like the fact that I like the unique aspects of each character too. The one thing I will say I don't too much care for is the fact that you can play if you're in a co-op setting, you can all play as the same character. I feel like
I've never really been a fan of that.
I'd never like it's like the game was kind of focused. The way they kind of portray it is kind of focused on playing off each other's abilities and stuff. And I think it's not even that you do lose that aspect of it when everybody plays as the same character. So I really don't like that aspect of it. But in general, I just like the fact that it looks like it's got more going on than just being a linear style game. And I feel like in general, a lot of people are going to like it, most likely due to the fact that it is co-op and stuff. But I do like the build crafting you can do when it comes to just making your character look like your own when it comes to like their weapon selections and loadouts and stuff.
Yeah, and that's going to be the focus for like replay for people who aren't familiar with these kind of games. What makes it important to get a high amount of replay out of the game and people really digging it and playing it more than just one and done. Oh, that was fine, that was cool, that was whatever, I'm done, uninstalled and move on, or struggling through it or quitting it, is having, we saw the skill trees, very diverse skill trees. There's something about skill trees that, like, I think needs to be said. I think I may be a bit of a Borderlands fan here, so here I'm getting Borderlands more flowers, but Borderlands has the best skill trees in any looter I've seen, and it's because of the synergy and how it worked, how each three trees that each Vault Hunter has worked together, and how you could actually put together combinations that are so wholly unique for your build and how you want to play the game, and it works so well. And I've seen games have like very convoluted skill trees. It's just slots and choices all over the place, but it doesn't work because, like, you're getting skills that don't do anything. 1% critical hit damage. All right, that's it. Like, how does that supposed to work for my character? How do I build upon that? Like, it's just like it doesn't seem to be a ton of thought and depth into those things. So that's something where I'm going to be wanting to take a look at. And I applied to get a review copy of the game because they've been promoting that for content creators. So hopefully I'll be able to get an early look in on it, and then I can kind of do a video and kind of break some things down for everybody in regards to what my thoughts on how they have implemented those things and whether they're good or not. But then there's also the loot, the gun, the gears, like that stuff also there has to be symmetry, and there has to be synergy with those things as well. Like, can you get a piece of gear that works well with certain kind of guns or weapons that give you bonus damages if you use them combined together, or having like unique combinations that can actually do way more damage than they would do on their own. Like, those little things like that are important, and I kind of hope that they, with all the cues that they've taken from other games that do similar, that they have taken like the best parts of those games and not just like the surface level stuff.
Right, I agree with that.
So, Forte, you want to ask that question again that you asked earlier?
So with the direction of everything with Xbox from last year going into this year, after seeing all of the stuff that they announced at the reveal, what is your thoughts on being a person that has Game Pass, being also a person that has an Xbox Series S? What is the hope that you have after all of this for Xbox and the games they got coming out going forward?
Well, the game, I think it's kind of sad that, like, at this point with Xbox, we just hope the games come out. Because usually it's like you hope the games are good, but with them and their content droughts and supply issues, people are just happy that they'll get games. And you know, like shadow dropping Hi-Fi Rush was cool, and shadow drops that work are always awesome. I remember when Apex Legends was shadow drop and how big that game is currently and how big it was when it happened. And successful shadow drops are always, I think, awesome to see. That said, like, you know, they could have showed this at the VGAs. They could have showed it on a much bigger audience scale. Like, the VGA Awards had 113 million people watching it live. Vast majority of those people were not Xbox players. They're PlayStation players, they're mobile gamers, they're Nintendo gamers, they're casuals. This content that they show, like, a great format, definitely format, it works. They need to do more developer directs. I think they need at least 2 or 3 of those per year. In addition to their E3 show and showing up for the VGAs and Gamescom and stuff like that. But the developer direct shouldn't be replacing you showing up on bigger stages with bigger audiences that you should be trying to market your content, your product to. Because just showing it for the Xbox gamer is fine, but you already got them.
Right.
You're really only maintaining what you already have. What you're worried about is making sure that they're satisfied in your ecosystem and that they don't leave.
Right.
But don't you want to be more than where you're at right now? Don't you want to grow the platform? You showing these games on bigger stages that aren't just your show isn't hindering you still having your own show. You can do both. And you should do both because you need to bring more people in. And I think a game like Hi-Fi Rush would like really appeal to like a Nintendo gamer who sees that kind of art direction, that kind of art style frequently, because the Switch hardware is low performing hardware. And they might actually like something like that, and they might want to go get a Series S to play that game. Like, you have to jump out there, and I think, I mean, clearly that game could have been shown because you shadow dropped it, so it was ready. So you could have showed it a month ago. But when it comes to just like them this year and whether they can actually like deliver on expectations, it's gotta be, I think, beyond just delivering the games. That's like a lowered expectations thing, which is unfortunate. But it needs to be actually having those games be good. Like Redfall needs to be a good game. It needs to deliver. Starfield needs to be a system seller, really. It needs to be that kind of level of game. And I think they, at least some of them, definitely understand that. Todd Howard said so. Like the pressure of that Starfield, making sure that Starfield hits is there. He feels it. And hopefully with that delay that they had for a full year, that it's going to get the polish it needs to be the game that they need it to be. I still kind of feel like it's going to be a game that Bethesda fans love, but not necessarily a game that will pull in too many non-Bethesda fans. You know what I mean? Because like it's just they're gonna have to show me something when they do their own show, their own developer direct, strictly for Starfield and just Starfield, in order to kind of get me out of that mindset. Because from what I saw of their gameplay of it at E3, it was just, I mean, it was pretty much what I expected. Like, kind of mediocre gunplay, a whole lot of content, a whole huge sandbox, but instead of a sandbox in the world, it's a sandbox in like an entire like solar system slash, you know, galaxy or whatever. It's basically their own game design on a grander scale, which for a lot of people is right down their alley and everything that they ever wanted from Bethesda. But that's not me. So I think if they want to get this into the hearts and minds of a lot of gamers that aren't just the Bethesda gamer, it's got to be a bit more than that. What are your thoughts on it?
I agree. I just think in general, it just ultimately comes back to, wow, 2022 was so bad. It's so bad. It kind of taints. It almost tainted the beginning of the generation for them. I mean, in some people's eyes, it really did taint the generation for them, and it's like no reason for them to come back. I just think the only saving grace they have is the fact that they have all of these studios, and something has to hit for somebody. You know, I think they got too many games in the pipeline that when they release, they'll be able to, you know, hit the adjustable market when it comes to how many people are going to actually be playing their games and stuff. For me, it just ultimately comes back to, I'm tired of waiting. I just want to play games at this point. We don't have as much time in the day to do the things that we normally do. You know, we do this podcast, we play games, we got our families and stuff. I ain't got time to be sitting around waiting for Microsoft to finally tell us when they're going to drop a game and hope that games come out. And the fact that they give you the ability to play these games on the PC platform, it's almost like, why even have an Xbox at all? So it's like an expense that you really don't have to have. You only have it just to say you have it at this point when you're on there, unless you just have a bunch of friends to play it. But guess what? If your friends aren't playing games because they ain't got nothing to play, you're in that situation anyway. So I just hope going forward that Microsoft learned a lot from just everything that was going on. I'm hoping that this ABK thing gets situated sooner rather than later, because I do think a lot of stuff is being hindered by the fact that they are still fighting this fight to try to get ABK underneath their umbrella. So I'm looking for a quick resolution to that, even though that may not come anytime soon. But the future is promising. It's always been promising for Xbox. It just ultimately comes back to, when is this stuff going to release? You know, Starfield's later this year at some point. You know, Redfall's right around the corner. Forza Motorsport's coming out right around the corner. They gave a really nice gift in Hi-Fi Rush. Really like that. But what about everything else? Where's Avowed? What we gonna know about that? What's going on with Fable? You know, all the stuff that's going on there. What about Perfect Dark? It's Zero Dark 30 over there at the initiative with Crystal Dynamics working on it. So I just, at this point, I don't know. I hate saying the word waiting for E3, but it's like, I really like the structure of how this show went. Mm-hmm. It really gives a lot of hope to a lot of people that really, really enjoy what Xbox is doing when it comes to the platform side of it. And I think that they nailed it and hit it out of the park when it came to that. Now it's just time to live up to the promises of all the games you came out. We're coming up on almost 5 years since 2018, when they purchased all of these studios and grew their studio base from less than 5 to over 23 over the course of that 5 years. So it's about that time to start, you know, showing the stuff that's coming out. What is everybody else working on? And I think we're going to get that this year. I just hope that that's the stuff that the games that they show in they talk about are the ones that people really care about the most, and not just offshoot games.
I'm gonna ask you this last question about and then we can kind of get up because we're kind of running over. Do you think with E3 they're going to keep to the same format that they did with last E3, where they're only going to show what's coming out for the next 12 months? And if you do think that, do you think that's a good idea?
I think they're going to. Okay, I don't think they need to do that ever again. They don't ever need to do that again.
I'm in agreement. I am in agreement. Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, I like the format, but then when I thought about it, I said no, because that means you're cutting off the end of next year, meaning you're not going to talk about anything about the holiday of 2024.
That means we won't see Fable at this E3, because Fable's not coming out in the next. Like, Fable's not coming out by June of 2024.
You're not even going to show it there.
So you're not going to show it. Like, yeah, that's but do you think they're going to continue that?
No, they don't need to continue that. That's the one thing that needed to die with 2022. So they never need to do that ever again. Never put a timetable. Okay, listen, they can do whatever they want to do when it comes to the announcement and releases of their games. It's their games. We're just the people that consume those games, even though we're the ones that actually feed their, we're the revenue generators for them. We give them the money to do that. So they can do what they want to do with it, but they should never ever put a date or a time frame on anything else ever again. They should just
think about how difficult of a position it put them in this year. Because now, like, you've made, like, you didn't give a date, but then you did give a kind of like a verbal confirmation, promise, whatever you want to call it, that this game's going to come out by this other date. And if things don't work out well, what's more important than keeping your promise is that it's a quality game when it comes out. If Starfield needs to be delayed to fall or holiday of this year, delay the game. It's not a good idea to release the game simply because you said, well, I was going to release it around this time, but it ain't ready. Like, what's more important, having a game out or having a quality game that performs well out? Like, you don't want to make those kind of mistakes. And so, like, you see that so many times, and it just sabotages a game that's been in development, but developers working hard on it for years and years, and you sabotage it by not giving it the time it needed to cook in the oven. So it's like, yeah, I kind of hope they don't do it, but I do kind of feel like they're gonna show up second week of June as usual, and they're gonna say the games that you're gonna see today are all the games that are coming out within the next 12 months on Xbox, the Xbox ecosystem.
How about all the games you see on this stage? Don't even say that. Just say, hey, these are all the games coming that are coming. That's it. Just say these are coming, and you guess what?
But then the thing is, it's not really. It's not. Hold on. It's not really saying it. It's about it beyond what you're saying. It's about what you show.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So
just show it.
Like, I want to see Fable. Like, I want to see Fable this June.
What was that guy doing? Just sitting in the corner on his
hands and knees? He was camping. He was waiting for the rocket.
He was sitting on his hands and knees with a portal potty up there.
Yeah, he was hoping I ain't see him. He was waiting for that rocket. So I killed him and took the rocket and started killing his buddies. Yeah, I've been having a good time in Halo Infinite. Yeah, I just like the important thing is that you're showing content that people can have some excitement about, not just in the next 12 months, but like going beyond that. Like, hey, look, I got games I'm looking forward to that's coming out this fall, this holiday, but then they showed this game that's coming out next year, and then like in the near future, they showed this amazing thing that like got everybody hyped. It's like, yeah, man, like you that's what you gotta do. Like you gotta keep it balanced, I think.
Yeah.
So
nope, I agree with that. And ultimately it just keeps coming back to when the games are ready to show them. Show people that you actually have stuff out here ready for them to play. And just keep that in mind. You know, that's all people want as gamers, just games to play, not promises. Just show us games.
Right.
Oh my God. Chase Jones said he loves Big Team Battle, Slayer, and Infinite.
Big Team Battle. Big Team Battle's okay.
It just feels like it's I don't know.
I like Big Team Battle if you're doing customs with
I like it too with customs.
Or a bunch of people in
too.
private matches. I love Big Team Battle. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go stomp on people.
I have a great time playing Big Team Battle in customs. I like going on rampages.
I like 40 kills in a row without dying.
Right. I love that. That's awesome. But, you know, playing Big Team Battle and look, the thing, like, I get into matches no problem in Halo Infinite right now, but like I see a lot of the same gamer tags.
Same people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
so
what happens when you're
that's what happens when you got a small small community.
That's happened when your skill-based matchmaking gets through the roof too.
Yeah. So I haven't tried Big Team Battle in over a year. I imagine like the wait to get into a match is probably going to be frustrating, so to speak. But it is what it is. Let's get up out of here, man. It's almost midnight. This has gone almost 3 hours. And
we did it now.
Yeah, we did. We did do this. We did this. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that came through. We really, really appreciate you guys. Forte, let the fine people know where to find you, what you got going on over the next week, and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. Just been working on the channel on the back end. Got some changes coming to that you'll see over the next couple of weeks. Also going to be jumping right back into Hi-Fi Rush. And guy, I'm gonna put a community tab up and see, guys, what do you want me to stream more? It was actually pretty fun doing. I actually did stream for 2 hours that day, and it kind of flew by. And just having people there to have communication with and talk with was also really, really fun too. So when I put that community post up, make sure you give me your feedback on how often you want that to go down, because I definitely want to integrate that more into the overall offerings on the channel. But with that, it's your boy Gaming Forte. YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. And DPS will be on my channel next week for episode good old 119. It's going to be fun with the homeboy Slomo Backslap over there. He did an amazing job as always hosting on this channel. No technical blemishes over here.
I have a few, but I kind of corrected them pretty quickly.
Okay, you put it very quickly, but I will read out the channel members on my side and give Tomo a chance to pull his up. Shout out to the homeboy Dragon Heart Yobi. Shout out to Stardust Cicero, Texas. I'm a Rich Swag Lord, Ramon Terrell, Hargy Shani, Brat Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Corey Hale, Cat Daddy Lurk, Erodimus, Slow-Mo Backslap, DJ Oris, and that guy Smitty. Once again, we appreciate you guys, all the love and support on that level. If you want to become a 10%er, make sure you hit the join button on Slow-Mo's channel.
It's $1.
You can also hit it on mine too.
It's
only $1.
It's
only $1.
$1.
$1.
One Washington.
One Washington, you can get in there. But really appreciate you guys, and you guys have a great weekend and enjoy your games you're playing. If you get snow over the weekend, make sure you drive safe. Talk to you guys later.
Right, on my side of things, we got Cat Daddy Lurk, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique, Hargy Shani, Texas, Truth, Serum, lost by trade. Okay, Big Mike, Erodimus, Ramon Terrell, Homie Juan Kenobi, Gaming Forte, Corey Hale, Stardust Cicero, and that guy Smitty. Thank you guys for supporting us in this way. It is greatly appreciated. If you have the tier I think it's which tier is it? DPS tier?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you have the DPS tier. You do have access to the Discord, and choosing that tier gets you like a link that is never ending, and you'll just like you gotta look in the options under the where it says see perks and stuff, but it's there. And you can join the Discord, you know, talk in the Discord if you choose to. It's all good. But yeah, for myself, I'm working on a couple of videos. I've been kind of under the weather over the past week, and my voice has been all over the place. So if not, I would have had a few videos out by now already. And getting my voice back a little bit, look for those pretty soon. And but other than that, check out, like I said, check out my stream this weekend of me being forced to play Dead Space remake.
Yeah. Isaac, no.
Who's Isaac?
Wait. He's the main character.
Oh. All right, whatever. All right, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's gonna go glorious.
I wouldn't call it that. That's not what I would describe it as, but sure.
Glorious.
Let's get up out of here. Nothing else to say, Forte?
Nope, that's it. Check out. Oh, speaking of which, check out my tweet I put on Twitter talking about how I posted a tweet said every time I browse my Steam library and come across this game, I shed a tear. Gearbox truly messed this up. What game release disappointed you the most? Shout out to Gearbox messing up Alien Colonial Marine.
Yeah. Oh man. He said, when is the Dead Space happening? True sir, Mom. I don't know the exact time. Definitely Saturday though. I'll probably put a channel post up on my channel as well as a tweet about it, so so that everyone's aware of when it's going to start. All right, we're getting out of here. I haven't even had dinner. It might be too late for dinner, but I'm going to at least maybe get a snack or something to get up out of here. All right, we're out. Everyone have a great night. Enjoy your games, and peace.
Peace.
Eyes up, Guardian.